You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
I'm Wayne. Mike Wayne.
I'm Mike Wayne.
And we're the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game. Thursday night live call-in show.
Yeah,
I'm out of practice here.
Yeah, that thing, it feels weird.
Didn't you miss last week?
Got four of us back on now. It's
I
crazy.
think I missed the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's missed a couple weeks.
Missed a couple weeks and everything gets thrown off.
Yeah,
The order, it was out of order. I was going anyway.
Oh, screen order instead of.
I should be last.
Yeah. It's a thing. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, no, we'll be fine. And here's the important key. This is what I appreciate a lot, right? Life hits. And when life hits, like work and stuff, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like when life hits, it sucks. And
That's why we have more games.
well, more importantly, that's why I feel like I have y'all. Right? Like
sure.
this, you know, and this here is that moment to decompress, to kind of reset, you know, even though work is rough, it's busy, like I haven't touched games. I know, you know what? I can rely on this group of guys
This is fun time.
to come in and talk about what they've got going on and just to chat and just enjoy time with you and all the folks at home through the live call-in shows. So this is good. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Those of you at home, those of you watching, those of you that jump into the chats, and then the guys here that jumped in, Rob, Wayne, Mike, thanks again for helping out, because this is important. You know,
Yeah, man.
So yes, there it is. Salud. Happy Thursday, call-in show night. What have we been up to?
Not much.
Yeah.
Not much game wise.
Okay, on to the next segment.
I feel like I'm still decompressing from Dice Tower, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't
really?
felt compelled to play games the
I've hit
last
the
week or
game.
so.
I've hit the
Oh,
ground
damn.
running, man, since Dice
Did you really?
Tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned it to Mitch on the podcast that I think my kid seeing because he didn't have a ticket obviously for Dice Tower, but they walked by one day and saw the game hall and saw the game room, and he saw all the dexterity games, and like since we've been back, he's been looking to play games like every night. Like, hey, what game we can play tonight? So it's
Oh, that's
been
awesome.
fun. Yeah, so I think he's angling to go next year.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, good times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know well, people have just been busy, I guess. I haven't played Arkham in a couple weeks. Dan went out of town, so he's in, I think, Nashville or something. Somewhere
Yeah.
weird.
Nashville
He went
is,
out there
yeah.
for a concert, and he's been hanging out there for about a good part of the last week. So we haven't gotten any Arkham in recently. And with Dice Tower, we didn't play Frosthaven. We were on an every other week.
Oh, wow, everything got
Kinda
thrown off
squeezed
for you.
Yeah, so that was the Dice Tower weeks. We skipped that week, so now it's going to be a month in between plays of Frosthaven. So
Whoa.
it's been kind of nice not having the obligations, but I am itching. We're actually talking about getting together Sunday and putting in an impromptu between games of Frosthaven just to get a little more progress on that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really had the itch, although it's coming back. You know, I've been busy at work, like you have. I mentioned I worked last night. Yesterday I worked. Had to be about 14 hours, and then I got up
Whoa.
this morning a little bit early and was going to log on again, and I was like, you know what? Nope, screw that. It's
Right.
going to be waiting for me.
I
when
think I
get
put
there.
like 12 hours in on Tuesday. And
Yeah.
this morning, I couldn't sleep because I was thinking about work, so I was up at 4 a.m.
Mm.
You know, and because I do have the ability to work from home, I was like, you know, if I'm not going to sleep, I might as well work.
Yeah. So-
But it does suck away the joy of gaming, and even just like gaming adjacent. Like Rob showed up, and my wife and I, for the first time,
right in the middle of us. Yeah.
for the first time,
Try.
I'm trying to put my Castles of Burgundy away. Rob, pull some of that down here. Like, oh my God.
There's the lid, but it's got some junk in
And
it.
I kind of regretted it because this is stressful. This Castles of Burgundy, there it is.
No, it's relaxing.
There was no insert instructions, no guides, nothing. I'm just
All right, hold on. Timeout. Wayne, when you get a game like this, is this not therapeutic for you?
It is. I
Yeah.
like Sunday, like last Sunday morning, I woke up, got my cup of coffee, walked out, took out everything from the box, laid it out, and then just slowly figured out the best way to put it back in, and
Yeah.
I grabbed some of the special bags I had picked up for my old copy and reused them in this copy to hold some shits and,
Oh, nice.
quick clips.
Watch your
and
mouth.
stuff.
Some what?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy how stuff like
Shits.
this affects people differently, because stuff like that for me is extremely therapeutic. Like I could just sit there, you put a YouTube video on, or
I agree.
you know, if you're
Yeah,
trying
I
to
was
pack
watching
things a
King of the
certain
Hill.
way.
Watching
I-
King of the Hill while trying to do this.
I think it's how my mind works. Like I just like trying to figure out the best way to pack a box, or
Yeah.
you know, the most efficient way.
I almost called you, Wayne, because I'm struggling. Like, there's a dark green bag, and then there's kind of like a limey green bag, and
Yeah.
then there's a yellow
what-
bag. What goes to what?
Well,
Does it matter?
the big dark green one is for the expansion, the vineyard stuff, and that goes. in the-
Okay, so this is not the
Yeah.
farm animals.
yeah. The farm
And- okay,
animal.
so my man right here, Kyle Jeeves from Chi-Town, says, I'm annoyed. There's no instructions, but I feel really good about it now that I have it organized. I did find it therapeutic putting
There you
it
go.
together.
Yeah.
I was getting angry.
Maybe it's you got anything else going on in your life there, Carlos, that maybe is affecting you? And I'm saying it jokingly, but I'm not
Yeah.
saying it jokingly. Like,
You know, you're right
yeah,
though.
You know the answer.
With work kicking butt, like
Right.
and part of it was preparation for Dice Tower. I took time off, but I worked during that time off because I had to kind of get caught
that's
up
not time off.
before
though,
I
man.
Yeah.
correct.
I hate that.
Before I got, then I was able to. By the time I got to Dice Tower, I was so stressed about all the work I was doing
Yeah.
that I couldn't mellow out.
Yeah.
I couldn't, kind of like I didn't have the time to get into the groove. And then right after I get back, bang, you're back into work, and y'all know how it is.
Now you're
at
making
work.
up for all the stuff that you missed while you were out. Yeah.
Right.
You're in email jail and voicemail jail,
Oh yeah, it's rough.
and I've been trying to work my way out of that since last week.
And I know you.
So yes,
you three guys, you all work in insurance. I don't know if multiple of you said that right now is really busy. I don't know if maybe this is just a busy time of year for you, but for me, I work in higher education. This is like the worst time of year for me. Like July and August is like I'm actually working for a living, as
Yeah.
opposed to like in December where there's nothing to do, right? Because
Gearing up for the new
gearing up for the new
school
start of
year.
semester. You have just
Yeah.
everyone complaining, the parents. And
you know
like,
what?
yeah.
Ron Fraser has a point.
first world problems. Yeah.
First world problem. Hey,
Could be worse.
number one, God, thank
Yeah.
you for a job
Exactly.
that feeds my family.
Yep.
Number one, and thank you for a hobby that I can enjoy with my friends. Number two, and yeah,
Yeah, but no, the burgundy thing is annoying because they should have given you some kind of instructions. Like, what game
Did they do a video?
No. Like,
Oh, wow. They didn't even do a
like,
video.
like 6 or 7 content creators did videos, and they all have kind of like somewhat different ways of putting it together. And the other thing too, Mike, is the insert was not fully designed for the acrylic tiles.
Right.
It was mostly designed for the cardboard tiles.
So it was an afterthought.
Gotcha.
So the cardboard tiles fit and they're a little loose, and the acrylic you can't get them all in. So that's why
Hey,
I like
Carlos,
that top
Yo.
I know that you don't do a lot of Kickstarters, but
No, I
welcome
don't.
to Kickstarter, dude.
This was
this
my
is how it
first-
is sometimes.
So I don't count like my Mayday boards. My Mayday crokinole boards. They came like that.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
But this is truly my first like deluxeified Kickstarter game. And now I see why Isaac Childers, Rob's cousin,
Oh yeah.
put so much money and effort into hiring a submarine, like nuclear. I don't even know how to say that word.
Nuclear.
like you're from Texas all of a sudden.
Scientist to help design the box insert, like how to get everything back into the box.
If
But
that
even
job
then-
paid well, I would love that to happen.
Oh, yeah,
I'd love
that'd be
that to be a
great
job
job.
for me.
It's a job. You can make a job out of anything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
Broken Token, right? I mean, and
there you
all
go.
the foam core inserts and stuff. But yeah, no, it gets in. And you know what I love is by getting rid of that top layer, Carlos, you can get the playmat in, which is great. So I mean, I take the actual game board and left it out, but you can get that
I
in.
did get the
box.
playmat. I did
Yeah.
not go acrylic.
You didn't? Okay.
I just
So
felt
see-
like the acrylics was just like
Excessive after all
well,
this.
because the more check boxes I checked, like that price kept going up, and I just like,
Yeah,
I
baby.
like
Yeah.
what could
Carlos
I
is
live
making up
without?
for lost time on this.
There
one.
you go. Blow it out, baby.
And I think I could live without the acrylic tiles. Like that's the one thing I think I could live without. The
Well, we'll
playmat
have to
though.
play it once with yours and once with mine to see the difference.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what you could
And
do,
then-
Carlos?
And then he'll go out and buy the acrylics.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's the thing. I figure I'll pay full retail for those later.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I was going to say,
Pays-
if you don't like some of the components in there, I'm sure somebody will pay you to take them off your hands.
Yeah. And then the mat, to me, I tend to buy and focus on mats in games
Yeah.
because they always do a shorter run of those and they disappear.
Yep.
Right? Like the mats tend to be the first things that go out of stock and never come back.
Yeah.
The neoprene. So I made sure to get that.
It's got a
That
nice
was funny,
mat.
is I'm
stitched
usually
edge.
not a mat person. I'm usually like, just give me the game board, but with this mat is pretty nice.
Yeah,
I
it's a
will
nice one.
admit.
Got the stitched edge to it, so it'll be withstand some wear and tear. It's good.
Rocking.
What have I done?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I have played some games. Robert just came back and brought me back my copy of
Fiction.
Fiction
Somewhere around
from
Nice.
All Play.
I told him I almost
Burn it.
didn't bring it back. I think it might have been better to just burn it. But
And he asked my wife if that would have been okay, and she's like head nodding, yes, that would have been fine. Burn that game.
Carlos played with my daughter, and so
That
I told my
bad,
daughter
huh?
they were talking about how bad it was. So I was like, I got to borrow that. That can't be as bad as y'all are saying it is. Me and my daughter played. We played half of the game, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. We don't even need to finish this. So
Rob is prepping kindling for his fireplace with
oh,
the
so
game.
I told him, I was like, I almost sent him a picture, a video of me burning it. It would have been a service to him instead of bringing
Like,
it
I'll,
back.
I'll
so.
buy the game off of Carlos just to burn it.
Yeah. We've burned games. We have burned games before.
Oh, that was creepy.
Yeah, we've done that before, so we've talked about that on the show.
All right, so post-con gaming, which we didn't even go through our full con
Oh
gaming
no, yeah,
yet.
I didn't.
Oh,
I
it's
didn't cover
tough,
half of
man.
mine. Yeah.
Post-con gaming, I got in some mountain goats. So we did our daughter's second birthday party at Carrollwood Village Park. If you've ever been to Carrollwood Village Park
It's
in
nice.
Tampa, it's a nice park. It's so nice. We did it outside, so I brought some light board games, but I got a game of Mountain Goats with the expansion. We didn't use the expansion, both modules. We used the 5th player in there, so I got to play my green components.
Is that game good?
It is a less worthy version of
Can't stop.
Can't Stop. However, the benefits to Mountain Goats over Can't Stop, because they both kind of do the same thing. You're chucking
Size.
dice and pushing up on tracks to try to get points. I think Mountain Goats has a more defined closing ending. It's Can't Stop can go real fast or it can go forever.
Okay.
Mountain Goats has a more defined ending because it's easier to get up the tracks and you're never pushing your luck and losing. You're
Gotcha.
always progressing.
Yeah,
That's the
a
difference.
little bit.
It's more
All right.
complicated. There's more going on. There's a little more to think about. But when I'm with that light of a game, I'd rather have the stripped down version. Can't stop. Just chuck some dice, make some crazy decisions, and move on with it. Mountain Goats.
See, the problem is you get into a game like that, and I think Wayne and I got into a game like that.
Yeah.
Where we were at the table while eating at the pool, and we just could not finish the damn game.
Really?
Like Wayne kept busting, I kept busting. Like nobody
Yeah.
could just finish the damn game.
No.
Yeah,
And that
Diego's saying
happens and
Mountain...
Can't Stop.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's Diego saying?
Diego was saying Mountain Goats has more interaction.
Yeah,
there's
'cause
more,
you can-
definitely more going on. But
You don't
yeah.
finish like in Can't Stop. When you get to the top, that track is now locked, and Mountain Goats is not. You can get bumped out of it.
Yeah.
So you,
There's only one goat at the top of the hill,
Mm-hmm.
but any number of goats on the way up the hill to each of the point scoring hills, right? The point scoring mountains. But if someone's at the top of the mountain, they're gonna grab the point tokens that go with that corresponding mountain, and every time they trigger that number, they'll grab another token until that token pile is
They do
depleted.
run out. Yeah.
When 3 piles are depleted, the game ends. If someone steps on the top of the mountain and someone already there, that goat goes all the way back to the bottom of the mountain. Now the mountain's only 3,
3-4 steps.
3 or 4 steps, 5
Yep.
steps.
2 or 3 or 4 steps up, so it's not hard to get up to the mountain. But what's nice is that it allows you to stay on that hill and just kind of start spamming those points. Like if you're on the
Gotcha.
7 hill, you just start spamming those points, and if nobody comes up there to stop you, you're gonna deplete that pile, and all you gotta do is deplete 3 piles. Game's over out of the 6, I think.
Okay.
However, there's a set collection aspect where you want to get one from each mountain, each color, because if you get a full set, you get bonus points. There are 3 bonus points available. If those 3 bonus points are all captures, so if 3 players have sets, or if 1 player has 3 sets, then that also triggers the end of the game. There's definitive ways to end the game. Like you're always progressing to end game.
Just roll better. You can end. Can't stop.
Well, in Can't Stop, you have to roll better.
Yeah.
In Mountain Goats, you're making groups of dice using the facings, so you can make whatever you need. it works out great. And then the ones, every one that you rolled after the first one, you can change that to any face of a die. So it kind of mitigates those low numbers that prevent you from moving up. So I will say I like Can't Stop for its easy thinkiness, beer and pretzelness. Mountain Goats is deeper, but it has it's more definitive.
Yeah.
And then the expansion, right, in Mountain Goats, once a mountain has its tokens taken, it's done, right? You can go on that mountain, but you're not going to get points. Like, let's say the number 7 mountain is empty, like I described. However, in the new expansion, there's a board with 1 mountain range, and your goal is to use all 4 of your dice to total a number and place one of your goats on that mountain range. The top 3 goats in a 5-player game, 2 goats in a 4-player game, get the highest. When I say top, whoever went the highest on that range gets bonus points. So now you have a place to take those goats that were on a mountain that's empty, depleted, and you can just choose to chuck all 4 dice, add them all up, and then move it onto this and claim a spot on that track. So it adds another thought, another action, another decision point.
Cool.
Mountain Goats, good stuff.
Yeah.
Diego's a fan.
Yeah.
I played War Chest. I won't go too deep into that. Busted out War Chest. It's on the barrel. I don't know if you saw it.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So me and the boy have been playing. That is it. It was on somebody's list. I can't remember who it was. It may have been Rob Warren. I was watching one of the lists. They talked about war games they like and how this is a abstract war game that they never expected to like. And it reminded me how good that game is. And it is good. So I've been playing some War Chest. That is David Thompson of come on, Mike, help me out here. Undaunted fame.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
Dave
Yeah.
Thompson? Yeah. Undaunted fame. So really, and all the expansions, I've got all 2 expansions, so all 3 ways to play it. And then after Rob took fiction, I still wanted to find a good word game to play with the family. So I busted out my copy of Letter Jam, tried to read the rules, and put it right back.
I heard that's actually a decent game, though.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't grok it. My mind space is empty.
Do you own Bananagrams?
I do not.
That's like a very simple word game, man.
Yeah.
Well, what I ended up doing was because I watched the video from
FK?
Efka.
Okay.
Shut up and sit. No.
No
pun included.
No pun included.
No pun.
MPI.
Yeah.
Yep.
He taught and talked about Letter Jam, but then at the end said Codenames Duet.
Like I
was-
want to try that one. Yeah, I know you got
Well,
that one.
I just got it.
Yeah, I
It
wanna
just
try
came in.
Yeah.
It just came in, and we played it twice, I think, like last night.
Is it good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Cool.
It's nice because it's not that burn of fiction, and it's easy to set up, and it's code names, but it's hard.
Okay.
And you don't-
It's
and-
very hard.
Even though it says Codenames Duet, it's not just a 2-player game. You can play it as 2 teams.
I know you mentioned that last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It ended up being really good. So that's what I played post Dice Tower. Anybody got something that they want to highlight that they played post Dice Tower?
Fiction?
Well, I didn't go to Dice Tower, but I'll play games.
Yeah. No, you can't talk then. You're not allowed.
All right.
Nope.
I'll sit back.
No, what?
1,000 so far.
You've been playing more games lately, haven't you, though, Mike? Right?
Actually, this past weekend I squeezed a number of games in or maybe 2 weekends ago. But just a couple, if I can touch on a few.
Yeah.
So you guys know 3 Chip Trick.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that guy came out with another game recently called Ride Chip Trick.
I suppose no easier to say then.
What's that?
No easier to say then, because
no
Carlos
easier
can't
to say.
3 chip trick. You
No,
3
isn't it
12
chip
chips?
trick?
12 chip,
Yeah.
12 chip trick.
Not 3 chip. It's
Oh,
12
12 Chip
12?
Trick.
Oh,
I'm
well,
thinking
there you
because
go.
it's
Yeah.
a 3-player game. Yeah,
12,
12
yeah.
Chip Trick. This one's called Ride Chip Trick. So it's, I don't even know if I would call it a trick taker, but it's same type of components. So you're kind of using crokinole tokens. And I think there's 3 sets of black crokinole tokens numbered 1 through 5. So you have 3 sets of 1 through 5. And then you've got a few red ones, depending on how many people you play with. I think it'll play either 3 or 4 that are -3 each. So what you're doing is you're draft 6. Go ahead.
Got
Were
you
you
back.
gonna say-
Yeah, you froze up, but we got you
It
back.
could have been us.
Or
I know we had
something
bad
froze.
weather in
Something
Tampa.
froze, yeah.
Sorry. So you draft 6 chips, and you're playing them out one by one, and depending on which chip you win, or if you win the trick, high number, you'll take one of the -3s into your possession. And there's this whole thing that goes around. But anyway, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get as close to, I think it's 25 without going over. If you go over, you bust, basically. I thought it was okay. I just thought, like, this would be a real expensive game to make if you tried to do it like we did with the 12 chip trick game. I would prefer 12 chip over this, but this one actually plays up to 4, so it plays pretty well.
Interesting.
The other
chip trick.
12 chip trick is actually on BGA in alpha or beta right now.
Oh, is it
Oh,
really?
is it? Hey, did you see,
Nice.
Michael?
Oh,
Did you see
nice.
the published rule set they have now? It looks like somebody's coming out with it because there's a new rulebook that showed up on the BGG
Oh, nice.
for 12 chip trick that it is like a designed rulebook. Like, so
Well, they
it looks
have
somebody's
like a
actually coming
logo
with it.
now and everything. They have like the pig logo or whatever
Yes.
it is. But yeah, they're finally making that look good. So the other game that I wanted to bring up, because the guy that my friend Scott that I play with, he is always getting like new card games. Like that's his big thing. Even this past weekend, he went to a card game convention down in Vancouver, where it's like people that are creating their own trick takers and stuff like that. It's just a convention for that type of game. But anyway, this one's called Robo Trick, all one word, and I think it only plays with 3 people, but you also have a robot player that's like an AI, and there's a number of cards that will basically program the robot on how to play its trick card or whatever. So it sets like this, whatever the trump card is, and it's, it sets it by number, then by color or whatever. But it's like, it is actually, I'm looking forward to trying to pick this game up because it's just interesting how there's like one main card that'll tell you these are the cards here that you got pulled up. These are the cards that will tell you how the robot will play its cards. So after you deal all the cards out, you're putting the robot's cards face up so you can see what all of them are. And I just love how people can take trick-taking games and totally flip them on their ear and make them something totally new. So
It's crazy with the amount of trip-taking games coming out right now. They talk about this constantly recently on the Dice Tower, but Z stresses over and over, 5 years ago, you couldn't sell a trick-taking game. I mean, nobody
Right.
was buying, nobody was making these
Crazy.
things.
Yeah.
Everybody was sick of them, or not sick of them. They just there was no market for it. And then in the last few years, it's incredible the number of everything's a trick-taking game now. It seems like.
Is
Yeah.
the Crew have something to do with that, or what's the one game that was a catalyst that like started that?
Crew
Like,
was big.
Yeah.
The Crew win the spiel.
the Crew was big when
did.
it
They
came
did
out.
win
It won the
Spiel.
spiel. Yeah, one
and
spiel.
so we're seeing a couple years later then that trickle down effect of a million trick
Yeah.
takers.
Wait a minute. Dominion's awesome. Everybody do deck
everybody do
building.
deck building.
Right. Yeah.
5 years of deck
Hey,
building. now 5 years
Wingspan
of-
has a nature theme. Let's do
There you
nature
go.
games.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I'm going to open
And
up
I
the
also-
phone lines and see if anybody wants to pop in on these comments, but you keep going.
Oh, we're late. Yeah.
I played Glory of the Rome for the first time also.
Oh, okay, cool. How'd you like that?
I actually really liked it.
It's so sad that game is so gone.
Out of print, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, it's such an easy game that you could reprint if somebody had the rights. It wouldn't even be an expensive game to make.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's just cards.
Well, but
yeah,
It's the rights, man, right? The two designers.
I guess that's what it is.
they
Yeah.
hate each other.
yeah.
but,
There's some controversy over that. They're saying it'll probably never get released, never be redone.
Ron Fraser, the phone line is open now.
There you go.
Sorry, sir.
We were 3 minutes late. Sorry.
Not that we're gonna answer the phone, but it's open.
It's open. Yeah, you
Yeah,
call.
right.
The phone line is open.
Didn't they didn't one of them come out with a version that's like Glory to Rome but has been
There was something that was kind of people were like it was almost like a knockoff. It was I think it was a completely different theme if I remember, but it was kind of similar. But yeah, I think the part of the hype on this is again the fact that it is impossible to get and that it's probably not going to be reprinted. So that's part of what makes this kind of a grail game probably for a lot of people, I'm guessing.
especially that black box version.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one he had. It was I just thought it was, I heard everybody always talk about it. I think Jamie from Secret Cabal, this is like his number one game of all time.
Yeah.
So it was fun to finally, get it to the table and actually play it. So
Cool. It was
I'm
good.
glad to hear that it's still good. It's even after all these years, compared to other games, it's still good. Ron
Yeah.
Frazier on the line. Have you ever played Glory to Rome?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
you take over the show now.
All you.
These 5 minutes are all yours.
So, a couple of things I wanted to say. First of all, Vertigo is no joke.
Oh yeah.
no, it ain't.
But I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm about to get back into my regular routine. So that's good.
Yeah.
But doing a lot of solo playing, Rolling Realms, which I just got, War of the Ring, the card game. I only played that once, but so that takes a while. Great.
Let me
Yeah,
interrupt you for just a
little
second.
card
If I don't, I'll forget. And it's my old guy, old memory. But Rolling Realms, there was a big chat on this the other day on the Dice Tower Discord about there being a defect with some of the cards. They don't erase correctly, and supposedly if you contact Stonemeyer, they will gladly send you some replacement cards. But I guess there's one series that came out that it's all of them are flawed and they don't erase or something. Do you know anything about this? Have you heard anything about this yet?
I have not. Mine erased just fine.
Okay.
So,
Wayne, I
That's
think you've
unique.
collected them all. What do you know, Wayne?
Yeah, well, I haven't played them all, so now
There we
now
go.
I guess tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and try to write on all
Yeah,
of them. and
supposedly
see if
there's
they
one
erase.
that's universally that it's one of the sets, and I don't remember. I can go back and browse
one of
through
the
the Discord.
one of the
but-
specific realms, or
Yeah, it was one of the
okay.
realm sets that came
I'll have
out
to
that
check
they're
out.
just all bad, and then some people have mentioned that they've had similar problems, spotty here and there with a couple of the other
Interesting.
ones. And they're saying that again, if you contact Stonemeyer, they'll gladly ship you out new ones. They know it's an issue, but there is something going on with that. Okay, I just wanted to ask just because
Yeah, and I'll just
you
throw in.
mentioned
I really like Rolling Realms, but I have some anger with it right now, so I'll
Uh-oh.
circle back after Ron's done.
yeah, let Ron.
Oh,
go. All
do we
right.
get a Wayne's rant today?
Wayne
No,
rant?
Do we get a Wayne rant?
Maybe.
Wayne's rant. Wayne's rant.
All right, Ron.
so I was going to say one of the things that I noticed is the games that I was playing the most was like easy pick up and play, like Rolling Realms, SRG Super Show that I picked up at Dice Tower East. Just playing a lot of games of those because it's just easy to pull out cards and just go at it, and the games are short. So that's been cool. That's been my post-con gaming
Cool.
is just quick games like that.
At least you're getting
But,
something in
there
a
was a
lot better
couple
than me.
Right.
But that's not
So
that's not all of your post-con activity. So before we go too far, I wanna say I showed up. There was a package at my door
Oh.
from Hotlanta. Like I said on the package, Hotlanta. Like, what is this? I didn't order nothing. Wifey's looking at me. What'd you buy now? Like, I didn't buy nothing. I open it up, and inside is a copy of Easy D6 hardback fantasy role playing game. We won't call it D&D. Ron doesn't like to use those words. Easy D6, the role playing game. Look, I love this small size of the book, and it must have been just an extra copy laying around. Fast and Furious, the board game.
Oh man.
My man Ron Frazier sent these all the way to the Beans and Dice studio,
Nice.
still in sticker.
Oh, yeah, still
because Funko doesn't do shrink.
No, man.
Still in sticker.
Too expensive.
Environmentally
Thank you,
friendly.
Ron.
Oh, you're welcome. That actually inspired me. This is one of the topics I wanted to talk about. Because I wanted to get that in your hand, even and it just didn't happen at that Tower East, despite the fact that I always had it in my vehicle. But that inspired me to just kind of go on this giving spree, because I need to call my role playing games and board games because I only have so much space. And I'm like, you know what? So I've actually prepared some packages, board games mainly, for folks, and trying to match them with match different folks with different board games. And so I got my game table is full of full of basically packages. Most of it's not boxed up yet, but so I'm just gonna do that because I'm the postage isn't unreasonable, and if I can get something in somebody's hand that they have a chance to enjoy, that for me that makes the effort worth it.
Agreed.
I got so much, yeah. So that's one way you can call your collection.
I think
This
I've
is
given
true.
away more board
I was
games
gonna say, I was
than
getting ready
I've
to say
sold.
that. Yeah, I think between the two of us, that's definitely been the case. We've given away more than we've actually sold. Yeah.
It just feels better to know that it's in a good place.
Yeah.
It's like we found it a good home.
Yeah.
Let me give you my address,
so-
Ron.
Yeah. I'll give you my address too. Yeah. You can always find me right here, Dice Tower Studios. You got the address. There you go.
Right, but so that was one thing I was thinking about, and the other thing was Gloomhaven. Their crowdfunding campaign just ended today.
Nowhere near 10 million.
The RPG second edition Gloomhaven and the miniatures, $5 million. And I thought, wow, that's not Frosthaven collected 12, right? So,
Yep.
But I went and looked back at the Cephalofair game crowdfunding things, which is mostly Kickstarter. But check this out. I'm not going to count Forge War. I kind of feel like that's an appendices. But Gloomhaven first printing raised $386,000, probably based off of the success of Forge War, because Forge War had $105,000. So that's pretty good. 105 is pretty good. Gloomhaven first edition is pretty, and Gloomhaven was the talk of the town then. The first printing. Then the second printing, it hit 4 million. And then it get found as a Gloomhaven, which isn't really, it's just setting.
Different thing.
That
Yeah.
was 500,000. So that was 500,000. That's still pretty good. And then Frosthaven hit. It was $12 million. So so as Wayne has said in other conversations, had they split up the RPG, Gloomhaven Second Edition, and many Kickstarter, crowdfunding campaigns, they would have probably made more money overall. And also, they went with Backer Kit as opposed to Kickstarter, which has a smaller reach. But putting all those things into consideration, $5 million is still pretty doggone good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Still a ton of
yeah.
money.
It's a ton of money, right? It's like, if Michael Jordan had a bad game, I'm sure, we're looking at this as like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant had a bad game. Now, I would take Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan on a bad day than man number 12 off the bench any day of the week.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Hey, it's my cousin.
Yeah, so did it underperform?
Sorry.
Did it underperform? I don't know. I was completely convinced that it underperformed, but now I'm like, well, maybe it didn't underperform as much as I thought. Just kind of taking those other things into consideration. It's really Frosthaven. I feel like Frosthaven is an outlier.
I got some opinions on that. I know. Everybody's probably got a little something they want to say, and I know Wayne, you're chomping at the bit. So go ahead and jump in with your comments.
No. I was gonna say, I somewhat agree with Ron. Is did it really underperform? Maybe not, but I think it did a little bit. I think unless they got an amazing sweetheart deal from GameFound, this would have been way bigger on Kickstarter. Still has the bigger reach. I can't tell you the number of people who didn't even know this was going on, because And I barely check like every day. I still check Kickstarter every day or two. I've never go to BackerKit or GameFound. And I think that had they separated out these things, and like Ron mentioned that him and I have chatted about it separately, I just think because the minis alone would have gotten the D&D world in Storm.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's super cheap. And if they did that and marketed it to all the Critical Role people and all the D&D players and all the various role play gamers, those minis would have gotten bought a whole ton, but more. And I think that you could then also market the RPG to that crowd. That page, I don't know if y'all went to that page. It is the most longest, most confusing, too much going on, and it was like you would have to take an entire bottle of Ritalin to understand that entire Kickstarter page. And it's not a Kickstarter, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I agree.
Way too much going on there, man.
Well, because you're right, they didn't parse it out into individual campaigns. It's this whole
different communities, yeah,
a la carte smorgasbord, to steal a word from Dice Tower.
Yeah, board game smorgasbord.
But is that because it would have been a logistical nightmare if they did do multiple
spread out over time? Do the minis and RPG now? I don't know. I don't think it would be that bad.
Yeah. The minis and RPG they could have packaged as a single campaign because they go well together. In Wayne's right. The minis alone, the RPGs are a fraction of the market that the board games are. But the miniatures, people go crazy for miniatures. Like, so.
Because there's also a resale market for miniatures. People will buy this and then sell individual miniatures for multiples of what they spent on the miniature individually. Like, people will buy them for $2 or $3 each when really you only spent 50 cents a pop based on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, let me jump in. I guess and just say my little 2 cents here. So again, I could be completely wrong here, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it. But I think they overestimated. I agree with what you guys are saying. I agree if they broke it up, they did it over time, they made it separate projects, they did it on Kickstarter. All of that would have made this more successful, would have made them more money. I don't know if that's necessarily what they were looking to do. I think maybe just throwing it all in, grabbing while the fire's hot, while people are still excited about Frosthaven, people are still playing Gloomhaven. I think maybe that was part of it. They wanted to try to do it while all this stuff was still hot, and if they spread it out, then you run into Gloomhaven, Frosthaven exhaustion. Years of new product. They're just pumping this stuff out. They're trying to print money. I mean, that's what they're doing here. This stuff that is in this campaign is not anything that I am interested in. I love Gloomhaven. I love Frosthaven. I could care less about these minis. I could care less about the role-playing game. The little miniature, the shrunk down version. What do they call it? Buttons and insects, or buttons and bugs. Is it? I could care less about that. That is so far away from what I love about Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. That is a completely different world, and I think they overestimated that because Gloomhaven and Frosthaven has this huge fan base that they could just slap all this stuff on there. Now, true, I did say in previous episodes that this is a role playing game that I might actually be interested in, even though I don't like role playing games because it's in the Gloomhaven and Frosthaven world. But I think they way overestimated.
Crossover.
Yeah, the crossover. I could be completely wrong. I know
I'm still scrolling.
Several of you told me.
right.
Yeah, several of you told me before that this was a great crossover, and that this was going to bridge the gap. This was going to do for the role playing and bring in the board gamers and bring the two worlds together. I really could care less. I mean, I would try the role playing game just because it's in a world that I love. But this is not what I love. This is not my Frosthaven. This is not my Gloomhaven. The light version is not what I want. I love this game. I love Frosthaven and Gloomhaven because it's difficult. Frosthaven was made to be a more difficult Gloomhaven, and it is extremely challenging. My group of 3 players, me and Nick and Joe, are struggling, and we're only 7 or 8 or 9 scenarios into Frosthaven, and we've had to play several of them over and over. One of them we played 3 times. We played several of them 2 times to beat them. But this stuff is...
And you're not like you and Nick and Joe, it's not like you guys are noob gamers. You guys are good
gamers.
Yeah, And what's funny is the RP, and Ron, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, but the RPG for Gloomhaven, I could not be less interested in that as a role play gamer. I mean, you can see the shelf behind me over here. You know, that's one of like 3 shelves of RPG books, and I have no interest in the Gloomhaven RPG. So, like, even though I played about halfway through Draws of the Lion, I have no interest in a role playing game from that universe, and especially like the card based thing. I actually hate that card based aspect of Gloomhaven. So putting that in RPG I wonder if they overestimated people like you, Rob, wanting the minis and wanting the role playing game, and also overestimated role playing game people wanting to get into that universe. But
I don't know, Ron. I can't remember. Have you played Gloomhaven or Frosthaven extensively at all? I think you said you'd played a little bit, right?
I played a little bit of Gloomhaven.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of opinion you'd have on it, but as being a hardcore role player and playing a little bit of Gloomhaven, am I off base here? I mean, are these 2 completely different worlds? I mean, I don't see them crossing much.
Yes. If the Gloomhaven role playing game was dice based, then like it would have a broader appeal. Like let me tell you, card-based role-playing games are very few and far between, and there's a reason for that, because people don't play them. Like, and so they don't sell well. Like, it's one of those things that people talk, that people in role-playing circles, they might talk fondly about, because there's some different. I'm not going to name any games, but really, those games didn't last long because they didn't sell, and that's the bottom line. And so, like, yeah, I agree with Wayne. Like, they overestimated the enthusiasm of the Gloomhaven board game players to cross over, and I think they overestimated the general role playing audience's interest in the role playing game.
In the Gloomhaven world, yeah.
In the Gloomhaven world.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a moment. Did Childress ever come out and say this is how many we're expecting to sell?
And let me just be clear, it's Childress, not
Childress.
Our names are different. Mine is Ers and his is Russ, so they are.
I thought you were all cousins.
No, I know. I like to pretend.
no, I think honestly, just the community expected it to do 10 million.
All right, so
Yeah.
I guess that goes back to me playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Did he not expect to sell as many as we thought it should have sold,
Who
or
knows?
we expected it to?
Coming off of Frosthaven at 12 million, and then this being 3 or
here's
4
the
different products. Yeah.
Right, and like you're saying, this is an RPG. It's played with cards, which aren't very popular. I'm going by what Wayne and Ron are saying off of this.
Ron
and I
has
have no
the
reason
pulse
not
on
to
the
believe
RPG world.
Sure. Yeah.
Context is everything. What was the context of what was he expecting to sell? So maybe this went gangbusters to him, because he didn't expect it to sell.
Well,
I think the minis. I think that they thought the minis would sell a lot more.
I would agree with that, probably, but that's just my. I'm trying to play the other side of the coin. Just like maybe he just wasn't expecting it to sell this much.
They had a $2 million goal, so like he over doubled, more than doubled it. So like,
right,
the Kickstarter objectively is a success.
What was the goal?
And that's
for
not
Frosthaven?
not a BS goal either. Like 2 million, that's a high goal.
Right. That's a lot of money. And anybody have an idea what the Frosthaven goal was, though? I'm sure there's a way to go find out somewhere, but I'm curious now what the goal was for that. And obviously they hit 12. Was it 2 million and they hit 12? And this is 2 million?
No, I think probably 400,000 or 500,000 or less. It was probably not even.
Yeah, being one game by itself, I can't imagine it was a $2 million or $1 million goal.
Coming off the Frosthaven, though, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Mike, that's a good point. Is what board game or anything in Kickstarter other than video, like anything in our industry, had a $2 million minimum?
Right.
That's
a legitimate goal.
Yeah, was it Hasbro with Hero Quest?
Hero Quest,
not Hero Quest. What's the other one?
Didn't they want a
Hero
million?
Escape. Hero Escape.
Yeah.
Frosthaven had a $500,000 goal.
Okay, there you go. All right. So they said
that's not a that's a legit goal. That's not
a legit goal too.
Yeah. That's
All
all.
right, so I
Um,
don't know. Take it for what it's worth, or
So,
from
yeah,
my
it-
point of view on that.
yeah. You know, we're talking about like, you know, I'm gauging success based on how Frosthaven did, as opposed to like using strictly objective methods.
Yeah.
Did he
Success.
did Cephalair?
Listen, Fast and
You know,
Furious is sitting in
he's a-
front of me. Okay, we're going Dom Toretto on this. You win by an inch or you win by a mile. It's a win.
It's
That
about
one's a win.
family.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
13.
I just thought the whole thing was interesting. When
Yeah.
I was just looking stuff up today. So
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Frazier, for
yeah,
your care
I've been on-
package.
it's been a-
Thank you for the update on how you're feeling. I'm glad to hear things are getting better.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
it's smoothing out for you.
yeah, thank you. I finally get a chance to drive.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Be careful though.
All right, all right,
I was getting over it, and I closed
I
my
remember
eyes
that.
for a second, and I felt like I was rolling off the road. So yeah, it can be a little scary. So be careful.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah,
that is
I know.
still,
I'm
that
just,
is still confidence in me.
word of caution. You know,
Way
word
to
of
bring
caution.
it
Just
down,
be
Rob.
careful. Yeah, well.
All right,
I'm
Rob.
not going to tell my wife.
See you, man.
Yeah, don't. Take care of yourself, man.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks for calling, Ron.
Chad that guy.
Stilson.
English is not my yes. Had a good point.
Yeah.
He thinks that the limited market for a game like Gloomhaven is already saturated by their own 3 games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's wondering the average Gloomhaven owners that have actually finished their games. Probably not.
No.
And how many people are looking at it in Gloomhaven now? And I even heard one person say, like, hey, I was thinking about doing the Gloomhaven version 2, but now I'll just wait and buy a version 1 that's cheaper.
That's
Yeah.
how I got my Everdell.
Yeah.
When
You could-
Everdell came out with their big box, I think I got it off of Lonnie's son-in-law, for like $30-$40.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, what are OG Gloomhaven copies going for now? $50. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
50 cents on a dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
knows?
still a huge success. Let's not be like, I think Mike's got a valid point. Is like, what was their goals? We don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what their internal goals were. It was at least 2 million, and it
Yeah,
did
they may
5.
be doing backflips. I mean, they doubled,
insane,
yeah,
right?
more
Right.
than doubled what
We
they
just
were looking for.
expected more from it than
Yeah.
than probably was necessary. So
I think Ron's right. Had they parsed it out, they would have made more money over time.
I agree.
Especially with the miniatures piece.
I think that, like I said, I think they were rushing it. They were coming off of Frosthaven. It was like, what's the next thing? People were asking. The
But
Gloomhaven.
unlike Rob, I am
2.0.
interested in the buttons game.
Okay, well,
It's like a $20. Well, I think $15
yeah.
in the kick in the
Plus
kit. In the
shipping or
kit.
whatever.
it's your poor man's Gloomhaven. So if you want to play the pared down poor man's version, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but see, I would think that Jaws of the Lion is the poor man's version. You
Yeah,
can get Jaws of the Lion for at $20
Depending
all
at
the
Target
time.
on what's going on.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to borrow it from
Target.
Carlos, so I'm getting it for free.
There you go.
Anyway, but
And I think that's a good experience.
Yeah.
That's a good, strong
Frosthaven.
Gloomhaven
It's a
experience.
perfect intro.
it was,
to,
I was gonna say it's a perfect intro.
yeah.
They did that right.
Yeah.
my wife and I are about halfway through Jaws of the Lion.
Yep.
We have put it down for the last few months, just busy, but we'll probably get back to it. But I think honestly, once I finish Jaws of the Lion, I'm good.
No more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either
Too
love
much.
it or you don't. Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I don't love it, and I definitely don't need like, I think Jaws of the Lion is 20 to anywhere from 18 to 25 scenarios long. That's
Yeah.
about good. Like, I don't need
200?
yeah
135. Yeah.
yeah whatever.
Frosthaven.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Game at the office. I'm good. So
Speaking of news, I just wanted to bring up. I heard this morning on Board Game Smorgasbord, as Carlos referenced earlier, in their news section, they're coming out with an automa for Terraforming Mars. How do people feel about that? I know they joked around about. Tom said he would never play Terraforming Mars by himself anyway. I mean, that's such a long game, but now they've got the automa thing where you can play one player solo against a robot faction. Anybody buying that? Anybody thinking that's a good idea?
can't you do that with?
There's
the
already a
Ares Expedition?
solo mode for it, right?
Is there? Yeah.
But it's just a get more points type of a deal. Like you have X amount of rounds to reach certain limits, and then see how many points you get. I like the idea of the Toma. I enjoyed the Automa in Scythe. Like I enjoyed having my cup of coffee playing Scythe against the Automa because it's more than just, all right, can I get more points than last time? I feel like I'm playing against, and if it's done well, I'm playing against an opponent. Almost feels like it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious how they're going to handle like the card drafting part of that, and what cards is the Otoma going to dump, and like there's a lot to that game that it would almost seem like work to run a Otoma and your hand.
On the box that they were showing just in the art, I mean, it's always hard to gauge scale, but it looked like a full-size box. I mean, it looked like it wasn't just a little deck of cards or something. So I'm not sure how complicated this is going to be. I don't know if it's designed with different modules for all the different expansions and stuff that they've come out with over the years. I don't know, but that'll be interesting to see. But yeah.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah. So and like I say, Tom said, with the app out there. Again, why would you do that? If you're going to play solo, jump on the app. You'll do it in half the time.
Yeah.
You'll have the computer running the AI for you. You don't have to deal cards and play a separate character. So, I mean, it's, I don't know. Like I said, I just wanted to bring it up because I don't think it's a good idea, and I love Terraforming Mars. I know Jim Odak there says that there's already a solo mode. I think I had heard that there was some solo stuff, but, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a great idea for me.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I like Terraforming Mars, not nearly as much as you do. I do enjoy it, but it's been a while since I played it. But there is no way in hell I could see myself running, a bot and myself.
Yeah, I don't know if they've got a display. They've got a what do you call it? Or they're laying out cards in front of them. I'm trying to manage that. I would hope it's not going to take table space like a full another player would, because that's already a problem with it. I know when we pull it out here, even on the game topper that Carlos has here at his house, the table topper, it's
beastly.
Takes a lot of space. Yeah, if you play with more just a couple of people, it's a hog with the display and everything that you have to lay out all those cards. Anyway, it looks like we lost Wayne. I'm sure he'll be back in a moment.
I'm glad I screened that call.
Yeah, I would say it sounded like that call wasn't a good one.
That was not going to make it on air. I'm going to do like Wayne just did and grab us another beer.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, there you go. Shouting me out there.
Another piece of news I was going to bring up is the story. I know Wayne posted in our Discord chat. Speaking of Rob Oren earlier, the kind of story that I guess maybe isn't as much a story as we thought maybe it originally was. Rob kind of maybe jumped the gun a little bit on assuming some things, but I know, Wayne, you know more about it. You did a lot of looking into it. What's going on with all that?
So the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, has they did two things. They announced proposed rules on like endorsements and basically in social media, what we're doing right now. If you get if you're working for a company, or if you're getting something for free from a company, or you're getting paid in any way, you need to be more open about it, more transparent about it. And so, Rob he posted a video and he went off on it. And like BJ, who I believe is a lawyer in real life, went back and was like, well, it's just proposed. And I said, oh, that's true. Because I mean, in my profession, I deal with proposed rules and federal negotiated rulemaking and all this kind of craziness all the time.
It'll go through revisions is what you're thinking.
Yeah. Well, there's notice of public rulemaking, and then there's proposed rules, and there's interim final rules, and published rules, and adopted rules. It's crazy. But what was interesting, though, is in that proposed rule, there was a final revision to guidance on some of this stuff that we do. Not really us, because we really don't do review stuff.
Content creation.
Mm-hmm. And one of the big things, I think it was, who's the guy from Restoration Games that's the lawyer?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Let me go to Discord real quick. But anyway, so there was some final rules that was adopted by all three heads of the FTC. There are three heads of the FTC that are government.
Justin Jacobson.
There you go. There are three heads of the FTC that are appointed by their appointees, so they're assigned by the president, senatorial approved. They all approved 3-0 these new published rules or guidance on this. And one of the big things was, and I feel like I need to pull it up because I forget the actual terminology. So if you give me a second, but basically it was saying that there was a clear and conspicuous of how you disclose that. And in that final rule, though, they basically said, like, we know in YouTube, you can flag a video as like a paid endorsement or a
Slap
paid
that little label on there.
review, or
Yeah.
slap that little label on there. They basically said in this final guidance, they're saying that might not be enough.
Yep.
Really?
You got to
Right.
actually verbally
That
state,
you have to
I got
verbally
paid,
state,
or I got a free game, or I got whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're saying that one of the key takeaways is they added a definition for what is clear and conspicuous.
Conspicuous.
Yep.
So not inconspicuous,
Yeah,
which is
conspicuous.
hiding.
Yep.
Yeah,
It would be conspicuous.
and they
open.
clarified that a platform's built-in disclosure tool is not necessarily an adequate disclosure. I know my English is bad there. I'm like channeling my
Also not your first language.
yeah. But no, so it was interesting. So like it was like they proposed these rules and everyone's kind of going crazy over the proposed rules. And then some people are going, wait, it's just proposed rules. Don't, blah, 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 blah. But then when you actually read the proposed rules, they go, oh, and by the way, we have this guidebook where we're giving you guidance on how you should act as a endorser or people. And that's been approved and that's final, right? And here's the guidance. But ultimately, what does that mean, right? Because it's just guidance. It's not necessarily law or regulation.
Right.
But it is guidance from the FTC. So if you're not following it, they can kind of come after you. But
I was going to say, what are
ultimately,
the punishments? Like
it's really just whatever the FTC, whatever
Yeah.
their enforcement can be, they can come out and say you're not doing it. And mostly this is, I think, targeted. And BJ and I went back and forth on the Discord about it. This is mostly about high-end tech reviews.
Video
And the Amazon
games.
review stuff that we know that like 3/4 of the reviews on Amazon are purely paid or purely fake.
I don't know what
and
you're talking about.
Are you getting paid, Mike?
and certainly video game industry reviews are almost all paid. So it's just interesting. And I think where it's gotten the kind of hullabaloo in the gaming industry is dealing back with Quackalope, right? And that
Yeah.
whole debacle and stuff. And people are
Rob
still
was pretty
kind
harsh on him in the video. I was a little surprised.
He-
He didn't
he's
call
been
him out
very
by
harsh.
name. He
Rob
said that,
Oren
yeah,
has
he
been
called him a
super harsh on
shill. He
him.
said that
Yeah.
good for nothing shill or something that
Wow.
we all know
Wow.
who he is.
and,
But
and like I like it could be a little controversial, but I'll say like notice like if you watch the Rob Oren video, he talks about like getting paid your shekels, which is
Yeah.
a
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
he did.
Rob.
He was
Yeah.
very pointed.
Rob. Get your boy, Rob.
Yeah, he was.
Get
he
your
was-
boy.
He was pretty pointed in
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
That
he's like, I'm not
was-
going to name names, but we know that good for nothing shill who's out there doing these underhanded things.
Yikes. I mean, like
he
Arsenio Hall in
oh yeah, with that. You see
Coming
that
to
video?
America.
Coming to America.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was interesting, but I think it's necessary, right? And not even so much for the gaming industry. It's just in general. I mean, like all the YouTube videos you see and Facebook, Instagram, all the social media stuff. There's no real regulations regarding
But
honesty in advertising, right?
yeah, but the good, getting on the tech side of things, there are a lot of tech YouTubers that I watch, other than
Yeah.
like MKBHD and, Dave 2D. And, most of those, I would say 95% of them will say either at the beginning or the end of their video,
Yep.
This is a paid, or I got this device for free.
Right.
This review has been published without any, editing, or, the creator of this device, this is their first time seeing it along with you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I agree. That should be pretty much a blanket thing across all industries. If you're getting stuff for free, you should definitely be saying it, that you got it for free, and let the people decide whether or not that's swaying your review one way or the other, because eventually that's going to catch up with you. If you're BSing people, they're eventually going to see through it, and they'll just move on. They just won't deal with you anymore. So
I can't remember the podcast that mentioned it, but one of them was talking about how in the next couple of weeks when Gen Con happens, you're going to see all these content creators, YouTubers, and Facebook, like whatever, Twitch
Man vs.
people.
Meeple is already starting to do it.
Right.
Like,
well,
I watched one of their videos recently, and they were like, "Oh, hold on a second," and they went through like they were reading off a script, and they were kind of joking about it, but you knew damn well, like, we better start getting in the habit of doing this because it's coming up.
Well, and I think the one that I was getting to is the one podcast was saying when you see all these content creators that you follow posting their Gen Con hauls of like stacks of games, like look at all the games I got at Gen Con. Well, how many of those games were free?
Right.
How many of those games were gifts? And like you're so you're showing off that you have these 40 games from Gen Con on your Instagram, right? But if you didn't pay for any of them, or you didn't pay for half of those, you should be honest that I didn't pay for all those, right? It's not like I bought all these games. I got half of these for free. And even just you posting the photo of, look at all these games I got,
Right.
is technically not, like, it's not honest if you got most of them for free, or if you're going around asking for review copies, you know.
Because it's definitely different if you have a pile of games that you paid for, then it's like, oh, well, you got some real interest in these games, as opposed to, like you said, if they're gifts, it's like, you know, they could take it or leave it. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. I know Rob mentioned, he's like, now, so Tom Vassell with the Dice Tower, they pump out all these reviews, how many reviews a week they put out, and now are we going to start having to see them disclaim at the beginning of every one that they got a free copy of the game? Is that going to be a thing on their video? Because they buy some. I mean, Tom's open that he buys some games.
Yeah, he just bought Risk the card game on Amazon.
Yeah, there you go. So he doesn't get a new one. He doesn't get them all for free, and so
if he plays it,
yeah. So what is it?
I think
look like
it's solved by having a simple one screen. This video is a paid promotion, and then go to their normal thing. Like, I just think it should be. It should be. I mean,
well, Diego brings up a good point though in the chat. That he doesn't usually see paid promotion tags on short form videos like TikTok or Instagram Reels. And you know, I never thought about that differentiation, but you're right with the hauls. Like that's a shtick. Wait, that's a Rob Oren thing. I'll let him use those words. It's a thing to post like, oh, here's my haul in a short form video. But no, there is no disclaimer. There is no tag. This was a promotional paid.
Right.
It's really going to ruin that short form style if they've got to pause and say, hey, thanks for watching my short. By the way, this was paid promotion.
Yeah, I got these games free or whatever. Yeah.
And I will say right now that the one game that I have on my YouTube channel, I did purchase myself. That was not a gift. So
100% bought all your games.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. We don't get anything for free around here.
It will be interesting, I think, like a year from now, where the fallout from the Quackalope stuff happened, and if
happening.
If these rules go forward, I've already seen, like Mike, you called it, I've already seen some YouTube channels being a little bit more open about, you know, hey, this is a, you know, blah 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 blah, and I think
Quackalope is doing it now. Like their channel update video that's probably a few days old. I'm a little late. I went over there. I'm like, I'm curious what's going on over there, and they were talking about like how they're gonna like what they want to do as far as like reviews and stuff going forward. And then they had like a couple of games on the table, and they were like over emphasizing, this is a game we bought. You know, this is a game I bought. You know, blah blah blah. Yeah.
What's interesting is I unfollowed Quackalope.
Here's my receipt from my latest
haul.
He was ready to go. There you go. Came with the receipt. I had actually unfollowed Quackalope just because I realized I wasn't really, even before the mess, I wasn't watching his videos as much. But I had never unfollowed the Quack & Co. And all of a sudden, their new video for Quack & Co. popped up with what they were going to do. So I'm like, I did the same thing you did. Oh, let me go over their channel, see what they're doing. And they're creating studios in their new house, and they're moving. But I guess Shira's back to being a nurse, and he's back to doing wedding videos.
They're both going back to their regular regular jobs. And
do stuff side to side. But I think it's a good wake up call. I think what was interesting is the what's his right brain rollers or left brain rollers is the new podcast that Eric Summerer is doing, and this was even before the Quackalope stuff happened. The first intro to their video or the outro to their podcast, they were like, hey, if you want to see our like statement of purpose or their sort of their vision or their rules on how they review or what they review or how they talk about games or like whatever is available on demand, you know, go here.
Website or something.
Yeah, something like, So I thought that was interesting. This was 4 or 5 months ago when they started this new podcast. Him and a friend of his from Connecticut. They were like pretty upfront, going, "Hey, our rules and regulations regarding review copies or free copies or whatever is here." You know, I was like, "Oh, that's great." But
I'm sure that he got a lot of knowledge from Dice Tower on that as well.
Probably, and I think also probably his industry, the book readings and stuff he does, is probably similar.
Yeah,
like
true.
have to do the disclosures. So
very true.
I'll make sure that we are more clear about what we do get. I think
Buy
the
all
games
our
you
own
buy.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, I
pretty
mean,
much.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Other
all
than
joking
the
aside, anytime
Stegmaier,
you've ever
Stonemaier.
gotten anything from Jamie,
Stonemaier
you've always
games,
said,
yeah.
you know, thank you very much for sending it to me, blah blah blah.
right.
And really, it was really just Winds of Winds of Galecrest. Why can't I think of the whole game
Libertalia.
name?
Yeah.
Libertalia. That's probably the only game you got from them, right? And
Well, I got
No, he's got a handful of them.
what's the one?
Rolling Realms, but you bought another
Wingspan
copy.
Asia. I won that.
Right, you won that.
because of Nick Oben.
Yeah.
Donating so much money to that event.
And you got a copy of Rolling Realms, but you bought a copy.
Yep, I bought a copy, and I got a copy from them.
Viticulture.
Viticulture.
Is that a free one?
No, that was free.
No.
That was free.
That was free.
Yeah, he
Was it?
had 3 or 4 free ones that he sent us early on.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got you in his back pocket, man.
Yeah.
He's-
Oh no, I'm a shill.
Yeah.
Well, I can't.
Hey, I don't know about
There
that.
you go. Using those words again. Get that
Rob
Yiddish out your
Oren's
mouth.
got
Get
me.
that Yiddish out your mouth. So.
No, but I mean but I think we've been as brutal or honest or positive or negative about things and I think that's what Jimmy wants, right? So,
We've gotten a few things from Chris Scafidi. He a segue. He's going to be on the show next week.
Yeah, next week he's
gonna be
pushing
talking to
his gamer kit. I think it's called the website.
Okay. Yeah.
Where you can
crowdfunding for his new project. He talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago when he was on, but he's going to be back on because they're going to be almost mid. It'll be after it launches, but it'll be about 2 weeks left in the project, if I remember, in the crowdfunding. And so he's going to come on and talk about the game a little bit and show us some more details. I know he was talking to us about it before, and if I remember, we were having a little trouble grasping the mechanics and how the game worked, and so he was. I think he's going to show us a little bit more about that when he comes on, so that'll be good.
Oh,
Yep,
cool.
next week I'll send him the invite to join the chat.
But he sent us a couple little things. So did we give one away as a prize? I can't remember. We were supposed to at one point.
I think we ended up
maybe
keeping
not.
it.
No, did we? Okay. Anyway,
He did give it away. He did give it.
Yeah.
I think he did send one.
Yeah.
I thought he
Did
sent one to
send
somebody.
one, yeah.
We did have a
Yeah.
contest where somebody won one
Because we
yeah.
said we wanted to keep it.
yeah, because we wanted to keep the
Mhm.
original one. Yeah, the
and
prototype.
I backed his Nomadic Gardeners. I have that in my
There you go.
small game
I think
shelf.
Mitch was also a backer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll do our best to,
Open and transparent. Yeah,
we spend a lot of money on games.
yeah. And Rob talked about that too. Rob was like, I still buy 90% of my
80%,
games, or
80%,
80,
yeah.
maybe 90% or whatever it was. He's like, every now and then I'll get a freebie. Rob Oren said he's never been paid. He's been doing this for a while. He's never been paid for a review.
I want to do it. I want to know what he does for his day job because he mentioned that he works for the government too.
Government. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you're a jacked up dude working for the government, huh?
What did he do before? Was it football? I think
Special forces.
He was a football player or something, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he's a big dude. He was at Dice Tower walking around. I saw him.
No, I met him.
Did you?
He was coming out of. It was interesting. He was coming out of the Tom Bassel flea market
Oh yeah.
as I was. Actually, as I was coming out too, we were both walking out together. And I'm like, oh, that's he. I thought in my head, I thought he'd be taller.
Yeah.
But and then I said, oh, hey, Rob, and him and I we walked for I don't know 100 yards around the corner, and we chatted. And I just said, hey, I watch your show. Da, da, da. He was a really nice guy. He was
Oh, yeah,
super
he's a great
humble.
guy.
Like he was
Yeah.
super humble. He was just like, oh my god, I can't thank you for coming up to me. He was really kind of cool. So
I met him at a wargaming convention. I know, Rob, you
okay.
met him.
I played baseball highlights with him before I even knew who he was. The designer Fitzgerald was there and was teaching it at my I think it was my second or my third Dice Tower, and he was there teaching in the demo area. And me and Rob sat down at the same table and played. I didn't know who Rob was at the time, but it was a good time. So yeah, he's a real nice guy. Yeah, real nice guy.
I met him at a wargaming convention, and I talked to him about how I wanted to do a podcast, but I felt like the market is saturated, and not sure what I would do. And he just got on his encouragement train, and was like, "No, Carlos, if you like board games and you want to share about it, just do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Turn on the camera, pull a game off your shelf, talk about it.
Trademark.
Keep it simple."
Nike. Just do it. Yeah.
just do it.
Gotta be open and clear here.
So that was when I came back to you and said, "Hey, I want to do something."
Yeah. Cool.
And that really helped spur on kind of what we got going here, which is
Really?
what, almost 3 years strong now.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
pushing 3 years now.
That speaks of something interesting, and I'll just mention it. So this was my first Dice Tower, and you see, I mean, we saw a million other content creators. There's all the Dice Tower folks there. There were people from Tantrum House. There were people from all the various stuff. And I'm not a shy dude, right? I'm like extroverted, like you wouldn't believe. I couldn't say hi to half those people. Like, I didn't even want to like walk up and introduce myself to
Starstruck?
half.
Yeah.
Not starstruck. It wasn't even starstruck. It just was like I didn't feel like bothering them, right? Like,
Yeah.
and what was even funnier is like I had my copy of First Rat with me in my bag, and then there was a girl, a woman, and a couple guys at the table next to us. Like, hey, can we borrow that game? And I knew that the girl was Board Games with Steph, who's also a big Twitch and whatever. And I'm just like, oh, sure. I knew exactly who you are, but I'm not even going to bother saying hi. I'm just, yeah, go ahead and borrow my game. I was like, now I'm thinking about it, like, man, I really didn't even say hi to any of them, like at the con. Like, so it's not a starstruck thing. It's just weird. Like you see these people
you
on
just
YouTube.
don't want to bug them.
Yeah, I felt bad. Like I didn't want to bother like Chris or Yee or Roy or whatever. It was
I
like,
told Tom that after I had been to 3 or 4 Dice Towers, and we talked about it on the show, and Tom had said that he had heard us talk about it on the show, but I was completely. I'm super introverted normally, but I was completely. I don't know if afraid, but I had the same feeling. I was like, he's running this convention. I don't want to go bug him. You know, he's running from event to event. This is back when they did all kinds of shows. They did their top 10 list, and you know, you'd see him kind of fast walking down the hall or whatever. And then he would always say, though, on the show, "Hey, I love people coming up and saying hi to me and talking to me." So when I actually shook his hand for the first time, I think Carlos was there, and Carlos said, "This guy's been coming to your con for 4 years, and he's never even said hello to you because he's so afraid of of bugging you or whatever." And Tom was like, "That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Why would anybody ever do that?" I guess they just don't understand. That I for me it was partially paranoia, but it was partially that same thought went through my head, like you mentioned. It's like, this guy's busy. He's running this con. He's got all these fans. At that time, it was 3,000 people at Dice Tower before it was an East and a West thing. And I was like, man, I'd like to go say hi to him, but who am I? I mean, he's whatever. He's just gonna, oh hey, and he's gonna move on. It's no big deal. But so it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, but and that moment can make or break how we interact with that person forever.
Yeah.
And because of how welcoming he was, it's to the point where this last con, I went up to him and asked him how to order a pizza for the game hall. Like, I was so, like, he was there talking with Sharon, and I walked up and, hey, I got to order some pizza. Any thoughts or tips on how I can do that here?
Oh, that's funny.
Because they're so welcoming. They're like, just come and talk to us.
And it's true. Like all of them would be welcoming. They all say on their podcasts or YouTube channels, whatever, just like, hey, come up and talk to us. We want to see you at the con. I just feel like I'm bothering them, right? It just doesn't do it. Like, and then what made me think about bringing it up tonight too is I think it was Tuesday night. I was watching Twitch, and the Board Game Steph person was on, and they were talking about First Rat. I'm like, oh, you really like First Rat? Thanks for using my copy. And she's like, wait, that was you? Why did you say hi? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was like, I was like, I felt, I don't know. It's weird because like I'm not I mean, Rob, you're an introvert. I'm an extrovert. But even then, even as extroverted as I can be, I was just like, I just don't feel like bothering these people. But I do kind of want to say hi to you. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah. Sam got pictures with everybody. Sam knows everybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She was smoothing
pretty
it out.
awesome.
She was talking to everybody and getting pictures of everybody. Yep.
Yeah.
And I did that after a couple of years after I had met Tom and then stuff. And my son, my now 11-year-old, he was 8 or 9 at the time. He's like, I want to meet all the people. And so I took him down. And even though he didn't have a badge, Tom was super accommodating. He was like, yeah, they can come on in. They can take pictures with everybody. So my son got a picture with Tom, and that was his big thing. This year he asked me, and I forgot to take him down there. He asked me twice, and I just never got around to taking him down to get a picture with Tom again. But yeah, I mean, those guys are guys and girls are super nice, super accommodating. It's a little different now, but again, because they're not doing the shows, they are there just running the con, playing the games. So they just integrate in more than they used to.
I think part of it was my first year. If I go back next year or the year after or whatever, future years, then I'll be a little bit more. It just felt weird to bother them. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Carlos, you talked to the husband wife,
The Kirby's.
Yeah,
the Kirby's.
Ellen and
off of We Game Together.
I think that's it. Yeah, we game together. Yep, you talked to them about Formula One and all kinds of stuff. And
because her husband it's Ellen and Randy. Randy has always wearing F1 gear, like Kimoa hats, which are Alonso's brand or something. And I can like recognize that stuff, like when they're doing their streams. I'm recognizing Ferrari branded polos, and I'm like, this guy's into racing.
Yeah.
Right. I see it. So I brought it up, and yes, he was. We were talking about the next race and who's doing what, and it's like, okay, good. So it's like, that's kind of how I met Mike, was my enthusiasm for autosports. It's nice knowing people who have kind of common
Yeah.
themes in
outside of gaming or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little common bonds there.
Yeah. So look at Sam saying that Camilla was the sweetest of all of them.
Oh
That's
yeah, I played a
interesting.
game with her.
I feel like
yeah.
her in person would be. She's probably a different person when she's on the show. Like when she's on the Dice Tower channel, she's a little bit more intense maybe than she is in person. 'Cause she's
a
like
little bit. She's pretty
carrying on
competitive though.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
played
no, yeah.
Doom with her, and she was pretty cutthroat. Yeah, playing Doom with us at the retreat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
And Mike, I think Joey. Everyone that I've talked to that had talked with him.
Yeah.
He's
Super nice guy.
super nice guy.
See, I'll be honest, man, and
He grew on you,
I'll
right?
say it on the air. I don't
You're
even
coming
care.
around.
I'll be, when Joey first landed on the Dice Tower, I did not like him at all. Like
You're coming
he just
around.
turned me off 100%.
Yeah.
And now that I've been watching his top 100, and other videos too, I think he's finally like settled in and he's kind of finding his groove.
like those first couple months,
He's like one of my
trying hard.
top favorites now on the channel. So, I think if I went to the convention with you guys, he would have probably been somebody I would have sought out to play a game with. Like that's how much my feelings toward him have changed. And I know we're just talking about videos and stuff, but I'm sure he's a great person regardless. But no, I would have loved to play something with him.
His top 100 has been good because it's
Yeah,
been kind
it
of
has
all over
been.
the place, And
I don't know.
and
I
even
like
Camilla,
Eric
too.
Summers. I like Summer. Summer keeps
Eric-
it classy.
I haven't seen
Classic.
Any of his.
Yeah.
Classic.
With
Classic.
his kids, I love how his kids keep mispronouncing the game names.
Yes.
It's just funny.
I tell you who I'm not typically afraid to shake a hand or say hi to people. That's not me. But Z. Like Z.
I took my picture with him the first time I went to Dice Tower, man.
I did get my picture with him, but that's because he was with Mike Delicio. So I kind of looked at Delicio. Hey, can I get your pictures?
Yeah.
Looking at Delicio.
Snuck in that way.
I don't know. There's something about Z that I don't know if it's personality or what.
Dude, his first language is your first language. You
I
guys
know,
get along,
but
man.
Automatic link.
I will.
it's not like we have a convention where we get together.
Don't all you people know each other?
No, there's not an
Okay.
annual convention where we all get together and kind of
Wait, ¿qué
chat. And me
It's Cuba
having
versus
lived in
Puerto
Miami
Rican,
for
right?
a lot of my adolescence, like
There you go.
I want to say hi. I want to see if we have any common threads, but then I feel like that's your stick. Oh, use it again.
Point out though what Sam just said here. I personally witnessed it too. Eric Summer, he would walk around the game room,
Oh yeah.
talking with people, and he would just randomly play. I mean, not a lot of the Dice Tower people would randomly play with everyone, but Eric Summer would play any game with anyone, anywhere. He was just walking around. He was talking with people. He'd sit down and teach a game wherever he would see player wanted or if teacher wanted. He was constantly just sitting
that's
and
cool.
playing with games. He probably was, I think, the most accessible as far as playing with
Mhm.
of anybody from the crew. That he was just, it was really cool. I like the fact that he would sit down and game any game that was looking for a player or teacher. He would sit down and play. It was cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Speaking
good.
of
And it is-
DTE, go ahead.
I was just saying, there's a little bit of a different role there. So the full timers have jobs to do, kind of. I
Yeah.
know, like they were supposed to be walking the floor and just kind of keeping an eye on things, and they would rotate in and out. You'd see Chris walking around for a while, then
pick
he
up
would
the
disappear, and
flags and
Camilla
stuff,
would
yeah.
show up, doing that kind of stuff. Roy, so Eric is a part timer now, so he, I think, had a little more freedom that he
Right.
didn't probably have assigned roles from Tom, so he was there more to game. But yeah, I mean, I think they're all super cool to hang out with.
Cool.
Yeah, what were you saying, Mike?
Yeah, I had a question. Carlos, did you pick up my big top? And
Oh yeah. They're,
did you
in
demo
the
that
bin.
game?
I did not get to demo it. I haven't got
Ah.
to play it yet. I thought about buying it for myself, but I'm like,
What game?
Big Top.
Big
We
Top.
talked about it on the show, and I can't remember if it was Mitch that originally brought it up.
think so. Sounds right.
I think I did.
Did
was
you?
it Mike?
Was it
Yeah.
you? Okay.
And then Mitch may have mentioned that he played it before, so it's made its circles a couple of times within this group. But I picked up the extra bits for you.
Awesome.
So you wanted like the metal coins.
Yep.
Which it
and then
really
the,
was a good
Ghost for
price
Christmas,
point.
Ghost of Christmas, that trick taker also.
So now we're just waiting for Hurricane Catastrophe to get you back to Florida.
so I don't have to pay the shipping.
Because the shipping will cost more
Until-
than the
and-
game.
Yeah, for sure.
Until his insurance company pulls out of the state like everyone else.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
that's a
There
whole
you
other
go,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
We should do a
It's gonna be
podcast about
citizens
Florida
only.
insurance.
Nope. Nobody can listen to that.
I bet you'd be surprised.
Probably, yeah. Probably be
You'd
shocked.
probably get a bigger audience.
Probably.
Do one on. You guys can do one on insurance. I'll do one about collegiate planning.
There
for
you go.
kids.
But that was the hilarious part was I show up with Wayne to the Bonacore ABI Board Games
Oh.
Insider or BGI Board Games Insider group get
Meetup,
together.
yeah.
He got pizza and drinks for people, and everybody met up. And I'm over here talking with Wayne to this group of gamers, and all of a sudden it turns into this college finance guys con.
Oh,
There was like 3 or 4 dudes in there. So
and they were all higher education finance guys like me. Where we start talking
Oh,
about
really?
and they were
systems and people stuff.
nerding out about like the software they use and
Oh,
like
wow.
so me and another guy's wife were looking at each other like, what are they talking about?
It was kind of weird because it was like there was, I don't know, there was like 30 or 40 people there, and it just so happened that like the 5 guys around me and Carlos all worked in higher education, all worked in finance and higher education, or programming in higher
crazy.
ed. And 2 were from Pennsylvania, 1 was from Virginia, and I was from Florida. And it was just yeah, it was weird. Now, Big Top, you're not talking about a 3-ring circus, 2
No,
different
no,
games.
no, no.
Okay, 'cause
This is an
I've seen a
all-play
million
game.
videos for 3-ring circus in the last few days. Okay.
No, this is Big Time. It's a bidding type game.
Okay.
Little small box, for like a
The
typical
same
all-play
same box
game.
size as Mountain Goat. It's the
Yes.
same company, all play.
Same company.
They have
yep.
this whole series of games in that box size.
Yeah,
So just
all
like
play.
small box card games.
Yeah.
And then I think you picked up Christmas Story.
Ghost of
Carol?
Christmas, which
Ghost
is
of
a trick
Christmas.
taker.
Is that the one that's got like the 12 different games in one thing? Not different.
Mm-mm.
Different,
No.
different Christmas theme game. Okay.
Yeah.
But their art is beautiful.
Speaking of all play, did you guys watch that video about the board game room remake?
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
I
It was
watched
good.
part of it. Yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
That's pretty
Yeah, it was
cool,
nice.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 teachers, and they completely redid their game room and did the all play the new shelving system that they've got on Kickstarter. They gave them one of the new tables they've got now on Kickstarter. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a good story.
It's like a
Yeah.
flip my house or
Yeah, so it was like like 6 months ago. I think one of either Sam or Booty or one of the people posted in Discord that it was like a giveaway you can enter to win a board game room remake from all
Makeover,
play.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a whole like like DIY, like I don't know, like any of those shows on the DIY channel,
Mhm.
right? And it was cool. They found these 2 teachers from Indiana, maybe rural Indiana or Iowa.
Sounds right. Something
One of
like
those
that. Midwest, yeah.
Midwestern hurricane tornado prone states, and they came in and they just redid their whole basement.
Kicked them
And
out of
it
their
was-
house for
yeah.
I think it was 2 days,
days,
and
yeah.
remodeled their basement. Yeah.
Nice.
It was very cool. Yeah, it was probably the only Kickstarter video that I've watched the entire video of, because it was like
Yeah.
the main video on Kickstarter was like this 20-minute video of them redoing their house.
But
And
it
so-
was a great advertisement for their Kickstarter. I mean, no
Yeah, it
doubt.
was
I mean,
great.
that had something to do with my wife, and my oldest kid sat and watched it with me. And then at the end, my wife was asking, "Oh, how much are those?" So, yeah, it definitely served its purpose. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
And
a
then
good
she saw
story.
the price and she was like, "You better not."
No, they actually weren't that horrible. And
They
their new
weren't horrible.
affordable table is only I think it's $499.
Then
No,
you
I'm
gotta
talking
add
about
on
the
the-
shelving units.
Oh,
The
yeah,
shelving
right,
units are
yeah.
not cheap. I mean, they're
Are they
awesome.
not? Oh, okay. I
but,
looked at it, but I don't remember. Yeah.
Rob,
I
did
mean,
you like
they're
print
not
out
cheap,
a
like
did you print out a
Besta or
sticker of
Calix
like
cheap,
TLC or Home and Garden TV and kind of stick it on the
there?
TV
No.
to make them think we're watching just regular television? Check out this
No.
new show.
No, I told them. Yeah.
But yeah, I think their new base table like $500-600 for the base price, but then you're gonna add on the topper and the half
Yeah.
thing, and it's gonna be $1,000 before the time you're done.
Yeah.
But
I'll be honest. I mean, you guys know I had a custom
Yep.
board game table
Yep.
made specifically for me at one point. I don't have it currently, but after getting that table and seeing the amount of work that goes into it and the materials and everything, and I mean, I don't want to say how much I paid for it because it's a little gross, but now when I see all these other tables that are coming out that are like sub $1,000, I'm like, Dude, those are a freaking steal if they're actually made out of good materials.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
what I was saying. You know, for $4.99, even if it's a starting price, I mean, that's still a great price.
Yeah.
For a board game table. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Biggest regret of my life was my 40th birthday.
How was that party?
Wrong choice.
How was that party?
Wrong.
It was an amazing party. It was an amazing party.
But-
I mean, we're talking about 10 hours of drinking.
Was it a party or a table type of thing?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
My wife said, "Hey, I've been scrolling away money for your 40th birthday. You have a choice. Do you want to go in on a board game table for your room, or do you want to have a crazy party?" And I chose crazy party.
Wrong.
Oh, man.
It was pretty epic. It was a pretty epic party.
You'll be
but-
prepped for your 50th then.
Yeah, I'm prepped. I'm only like 3 years away. Yeah. No, but I, as much as I would love to have a board game table, I really have a good table for gaming as it is. So
Yeah.
I have the custom.
Joe Slanger says Vegas 50th. There you go.
There you go.
Instead of a table, Wayne, Vegas 50th.
Nope, wrong.
Yeah. If any of the Dice Tower people are watching, I'm going to Dice Tower West for my 50th.
Chad Stinson says you chose poorly.
Maybe. I mean, it was a pretty epic party. We had
Party on, Wayne. Says Zodiac.
We're talking about
Party on-
40, 50
party on
people
Garth.
for like 10 hours. It was. A big
That's
party.
awesome, though.
Yeah, it was.
It's like
a
your
big,
own mini con.
Yeah, it was.
Are we gonna get
We
that
rent-
Wayne's rant on Rolling Rums anytime soon?
Yeah, come on. Let's
Oh,
find
no.
out.
All right. So you want? No, my only issue with Rolling Realms is I have Rolling Realms thanks to Carlos, and I bought all the expansions so far, and then they just announced
Like any good dealer, first one's free.
first one's free, and I bought them all. They're like, hey, $4 a pack, right? It's like buying a Pokemon pack, whatever. I'll just buy it. So I bought all the expansions, and now Stonemaier just announced like a separate Rolling Realms game. That's the Rolling Realms. It's like Rolling Realms 2 with 12 new realms in the box. So it's okay, but
It's like a big box almost.
it's like
But
yeah,
is
it's
it all the
like-
previous stuff?
No, it's all new.
What?
Yeah, I'm like,
So what games is he basing all the realms off of now?
we don't know yet, but there's a whole new Rolling Realms game coming out with 12 new realms in it. That's separate from Rolling Realms and all of the 50 realms. Not 50, but 12 realms he's released already. And I'm like, what, dude? I've been trying to collect these things to have them all, and now I got to go buy a separate game to get the 12 new ones that you're putting out. Like, I don't know. A little bit of rant of like, I don't know what this is going to cost for these 12 realms. Maybe it'll be cheaper than $4 or $5 a pack, whatever it costs now.
Yeah.
But
How many times have you played Rolling Realms?
5 or 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you've gotten it to the table a few times.
Yeah, I've gotten it a few times, and it's really good solo. Like what's cool is there's in the Rolling Realms there's the solo game. I don't know what's going on with Rob and Carlos. They're having some.
I think Carlos is screening calls.
He's ready to
maybe.
call. So
Oh,
yeah.
it's gonna call. Gotcha. There's anyway, so yeah, there's a good solo realms. Rolling Realms Redux. There's good solo, and then there's a whole campaign that you can play solo. So it's good. And
Oh,
what's
that's
cool
cool.
is at least Jamie, at least once a week, he puts up a video where he plays a game of Rolling Realms, and you can
Right.
play along with him on Facebook or YouTube.
Oh,
whatever.
nice.
So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a fun game, but it's just a little annoying. It's like you had this model of releasing these little $3, $4 packs, and now you're gonna come out with a whole nother game with realms that are different than the games in Rolling Realms. So I don't know.
I realized that I messed up the camera. Like I meant to put the camera on Rob while I screened the call. Apparently, I put myself on
Oh,
full
did you?
blast.
Nice.
So it's my mouth moving, but no audio while I was screening.
There you go. That's why.
Friend of the show, Chris out of Austin, wants to talk about game tables and poor decisions.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hey,
Hey, doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
good.
Audio's coming in perfect. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just turned off a couple things and it seemed to fix it. So it's awesome. Yeah, so I actually did back something earlier this year. It's a board game table called the Monarch. Are you all familiar with that?
I've heard of it. I don't
Yep.
recall which one that one is.
Yeah, so I backed that one. Supposed to fulfill, I think, the end of summer, like early fall,
Okay.
what they're looking at right now. But it's pretty sweet. It was a really good deal. Very high quality. So I'm pretty excited about it. Never had a board game table. And just have kind of an okay table. It's a decent size, but we've had it a long time, and it'd be nice to get a little upgrade action. They got the magnetic rail system where you can plug in your cup
Oh, yeah.
holders, and
Nice.
so it's gonna be pretty sweet.
Who makes that
So,
one?
yeah, it's on Kickstarter. It's called, let me see.
I'm
Trying to
pulling it up
remember
now.
Yeah, look on Kickstarter, The Monarch.
There it is. He's got it up. Let's see. Who is this?
Dragons and
They're
Geeks.
UK. Yeah, that's it. Dragons and
Dragons
Geeks.
and Geeks. Okay, I haven't heard of
Yeah,
that.
that's a nice looking table.
Yeah,
It is nice. Yeah.
really nice.
That's something my wife would really like. It's got that nice dining room look.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you got to have, man.
And
Yeah,
that's why
dual
that I
purpose.
could get it, because my wife wasn't a fan of some of the other ones that I had showed her previous years. She actually was good with this one. So
Yeah.
Nice.
They do
that was
the
my birthday slash
matching
Christmas
chairs
present
and
this
everything
year.
with this one.
No, we didn't quite go on that.
Okay.
We might be getting a new bench because we already have a bench. Probably need
We
to
can
get a
hear
new
that,
bench, 'cause
Carlos.
It's pretty. We got the extra large XL one.
Oh, nice.
That looks nice. See, that's what I would
So-
want, right? That's perfect.
See, the thing is,
So-
I got
yeah,
3
that's
boys
cool.
at home. This would be like destroyed.
No.
That's why I had to go game toppers, like full extruded aluminum, right?
Yeah,
Because I know that this will
that's
last
true.
with my 3 crazy boys. Yeah, soon to be 4 boys.
So, to kind of just finish off my BS story was, at least I'll say this: the 2 game companies that I was down to as far as buying a table back then, it was either Geek and Son or it was Geek Chic, and so kind of glad because I might have gone Geek Chic and lost all my money. So
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, but
So, Chris, do you? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that table looks awesome.
Yeah, it does look awesome. Now, do you prefer the long tables, or do you prefer more of a squared up table, or?
I don't think I have a preference. I just like space. I like space for the big games, so I just want that flexibility. So I think the larger, as long as it fits in my house.
Yeah. That's the big
You know,
thing.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
that's
bigger
that's
one.
important part. Yeah.
Some of those tables are huge. We were looking at some, and my wife was like,
Ooh.
I was looking at one we had a good deal on. Actually, now that I think about it, Mike, it reminds me it was the one you were doing, the one that you were getting rid of before you went out of town.
You
I
don't
was
want
so
that
close.
table, man.
If
Yeah,
it
that was
wasn't that
huge.
big,
Yeah, it was huge.
it would have been here.
So me and my wife had the measuring tape out in our front room, and we were like, all right, if we do it this way, maybe no. If we do it this way, maybe no. All right, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, no. I measured
and Mike,
that
I
thing
think
out.
it was more of a square table, wasn't it?
Well, the one I had custom made was, but I think the one that Rob is
Right.
talking about
Was a big
it
rectangle.
was. I'm trying to remember the name of the ultimate gaming table. That was the name of it.
Okay.
It was like specifically made to be flat packed and then assembled once it got to its destination. And the problem with that game table is that thing freaking creaked and squeaked and just you could not tighten up those bolts enough to keep it sturdy. But also the fact, like, when you sat at it with regular chairs, like the top of the table was above your chest, so you felt like a
Yes.
little kid sitting at a table, and your arms were like this on top of it, and it's just, I mean,
Big
for
table.
just a gaming table, it was totally fine, but there's no way that you could eat at that table comfortably.
Yeah.
Now this
Sounds
one
like
looks
Chris
like it's got
chose-
some cool options here.
Sounds like Chris chose well. He chose the
Yeah.
game table, but Chris,
Yeah.
did you
And
end up
wife
having
approved,
to?
right?
Did you end up having to get a dog or anything like Kyle up in Chi-Town?
A dog?
Yeah. Had to give wifey a new dog in order to get more gaming.
I already did that. I actually did well. So before we had our first child, I took care of that one because my wife's a huge dog person. And so, yeah, I made sure that was taken care of after year 1 of marriage.
Good.
Smart man.
So on year 2, we got the dog.
Good
There
idea.
you go.
So when
We
you
got
bought
house
the
on
table,
year
did
1,
you,
the dog on year 2.
yeah, did you do the topper like this, the whole shebang, or just the table?
Yeah, so it comes with the topper, which is cool. So you don't have to pay extra. And then you pick out what color you want, the espresso or the lighter color. We did the espresso. And then you pick out what color you want on the inside. And we did I think it's like a teal. It's like a light blue. There's like a dark blue and a light blue. There's a light blue.
Nice.
And it matches our tile in our kitchen too.
Oh,
'cause
awesome.
It's just outside of our kitchen. So it's perfect. And it matches our floors, the espresso. So it's going to look
Nice.
really great in our house.
It's an investment. It says heirloom quality. I love these trays, and that's the one thing about, like, my trays are I made them myself
All made.
out of cedar planks and
Homegrown.
Dremels. But
Okay.
I love them. Rob hates them. Rob hates those extra bits
I
that
don't like
stick
stuff
out the
sticking
side.
out. No.
But I think it's because he has T-Rex arms. So anything you
Yep.
add
Yep. I got to get close
in
to the
between
table.
him and the table
Yep.
just
Yep.
makes it
Up
can't
close.
reach.
Like this company's out of the UK, and then one of the other big board game table companies is out of the UK. They I feel like
Oh,
they have like a artisan
Rathskellers?
level. Yeah, is it Rathskellers out of the UK too? I think maybe. Yeah.
Maybe
They have
them
like
or-
an appreciation for detail and like hardwood working and like just like a different level of craftsmanship than you see. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty, and then I know Geek and
You got,
Son
like-
is out of like Greece or something too. So it's
Yeah.
like different level of craftsmanship there.
And then you got
That's
the
why I like
wormwood,
Berkey.
which is like the rolls.
oh yeah. The game toppers are nice. I was looking into that for a while, but we needed a new table anyway. Ours is pretty old, and so it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. And then we're
Perfect
just going
timing.
to cover it with like a tablecloth when the kids are doing certain things to protect it, plastic,
Yeah.
cover and just different things like when they're coloring and stuff. I'm going to be like pretty particular at that point. I'm like, honey, we got to make sure we cover this thing. We don't draw on it and scratch it up. They've already scratched up the other tables, so.
I don't know. I think one of my fears with that table topper, the cover
Yeah.
that you have, because it's slats of wood, right? I imagine you take your game of Descent 3.0, right, and throw it under there, and then hide it, and then have dinner with the family, and then someone spills like a glass of chocolate milk
They're
on the
made for
table.
that. They're made for
Yeah,
that. There's a
they're
funneling
made-
system that it goes down and it funnels out to the edge.
okay.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
those
and
gutters?
there's other video to cover that. So
Yeah.
it's actually a vacuum seal, so it will not go through. And they even have a video on how to clean it. So you have to take it apart just to kind of clean, make sure nothing's in between, but it doesn't. It's vacuum sealed,
Nice.
Yeah.
so it will
They're
not go
addressing
through.
everything.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
if you poured enough water, it would, but
Well, I mean, you got to see how many things we spill at the table here at the Beans and Nice studio.
Guess so.
Like, every week we spill something.
yeah.
That's what we have.
That's why they have the cup holders. Use those.
But Rob
No.
doesn't like the extensions.
Nope. Get him out of my way. Get him out of
There's
my
He's
way.
got his beer on the
um,
table.
So, Carlos, actually, right close to your house, right there on 41. There's a Olga Glass Company,
Yes, I know.
and I've gone to them. So I have my dining room table. It's nice hardwood, and I gave them the dimensions, and they cut a beautiful piece of tempered glass that just covers the top of my table,
Nice.
so that anything gets spilled or the kids are, right or whatever, it's just glass. You just wipe it off, and then I could always move it off if I needed to. So that's something that you could do too, is just get like a nice tempered glass topper.
The house in this
table.
house that might last a couple weeks and then it'd be in 4 pieces. So
Well, it's tempered glass, so 4
true.
million
4
pieces.
million
Tempered
pieces.
glass.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. But boys are rough.
Your boys. My boys
And-
are okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
How many TVs did we
I
go
keep
through?
them on a leash.
How
so-
many TVs
Oh,
did we
wow.
go through?
Well, the young one, yes. Yeah.
This table from Berkey, Game Toppers, is extruded aluminum. So it's American craftsmanship. Right? Wayne talks about European craftsmanship. Americans, we extrude
that's
aluminum. But to the point that Mike has is adding this topper to a standard table. It puts it up to like chest height. So
gotta
you're
cut
playing games
legs.
like this,
Yeah.
from up top. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up sawing
Saw off
off
the legs.
like 4 inches off the legs of
Yep.
this table. And I should have measured that better because now the rim of the
Crack my
table
knee on
is
it
at
all
my
the time.
knees.
Low. Yeah. Too low.
So every time I scoot into the table, or like when Wayne's here,
Bonk.
yep, and you hear
Now you just
Peter
need to
Griffin style.
you just need to saw a few inches off the chair legs now, and then
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just
It's gonna be a race to the
Go
bottom.
back and forth, back and forth, back. We'll be sitting on the floor. In a
It looks
minute.
like a Japanese like sushi house. We're all on the floor on pillows.
Yep.
that's funny.
I wish you better luck with your table, Austin. Or
Yeah, no,
Chris.
you gotta-
for
you
Austin.
gotta-
Austin.
Yeah,
Start
You got-
praying now.
you gotta when you get if you're not on our Discord yet, you gotta join the Discord.
Oh,
and
yeah, put
post
some pictures
photos
up.
when you get it.
Oh, yeah,
we-
I can
Yeah,
put some pictures
definitely.
on there. Yeah, I'm on there. I posted
Okay,
my
good.
top 50.
Yep. Saw that.
Oh, okay, that was you. Okay, good, cool.
Yeah, Rob already. Yep.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
on.
I was in there commenting. Yeah, I agree with everything except for like your top 20 were great except for Everdell. I don't. It's just me. I know people love Everdell, but I couldn't get into it. I got to try the expansions though. You mentioned that. People
Yeah,
keep telling me
man,
that.
the expansions. Oh, yeah, especially New Leaf, but even Belfair really adds. But New Leaf just takes it to another level.
Yeah. I got to give it another shot. It wasn't a bad game. I just didn't love it the way people love it. So, but yeah, but your rest of your top 20, particularly, were solid. I really liked them.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob.
Sure.
I've got another question for you guys.
Yep.
We were
Always.
talking about Kickstarters earlier.
Okay.
When you guys are ready to move on to the next set of questions and topics here,
Let's go.
do y'all have any anticipated Kickstarter games for 2023? And if so, what are your most anticipated games that are not necessarily fulfilling this year, but that have come out this year?
Gosh, that's
Pull up
rough.
my
I'll turn it over to
spreadsheet.
say the Kickstarter expert over there, Mike. So me and Carlos are not Kickstarter guys. I've done one in my life. Carlos, you've officially done one in your life and kind of done 3 or 4
On the side.
on the side.
Yeah.
But,
You've done so. You've each done like between the two of you, you've done like 6,
yeah, maybe.
and then
Right.
I'm at like 60 or 70, and Mike's probably over 100.
Man, I've got
Wow.
almost 30 in my queue that I'm waiting on.
Yeah, so you're more like 200.
Oh,
Is there anything that's
Wow.
standing out for you though?
That's
only
going to
one
deliver
next year?
this year?
Deliver or back?
yeah.
Does it? Oh, that's going to deliver this year.
It doesn't have to fulfill. I mean, I'm just thinking ones that have come out this year in 2023, not ones that came out last year.
Probably okay. Well, the one that's probably at the top of my list is Stalker, which is based off the PC game Stalker. Alternate future based around the Chernobyl incident that occurred, where you're like these stalkers going in to get materials, mutated things. I'm trying to remember. Same people that did This War of Mine, the board game.
Such a good game.
So I know that they know how to do games. I've got 100% faith in the company as far as delivering. But looking at my list right now, that's probably at the top of my list, even though it probably will not deliver, unfortunately. I'm going to say probably till 2025.
The only game that it's an expansion to a game. The only Kickstarter that I'm really looking forward to, I think it's coming out later this year, is the expansion for Clans of Caledonia, which was it's in the top 50 on BGG ranking all time, and it only really ever had a Kickstarter print run and maybe one other small print run, and it's a fantastic game. And I think they're gonna kickstart the expansion. And people could buy the original game. So I think that'll be pretty popular because it's a very popular game on BGG that's hard to get and hard to find. And so if you've played Terra Mystica and those kind of games, it is a very tight game with a great theme that I think a lot of people enjoy. So I think that one will be pretty popular, and I will be in for the expansion for sure.
Well, the one I'm thinking of has already been done. It's already set up. We're just waiting for delivery. And for me, I'm looking forward to receiving Mosaic, the neoprene mat, the expansion that adds more military. That's probably the only thing I'm thinking about that I'm anticipating. And I'll have to say, Chris, I walked around Dice Tower, the exhibitor hall and all that, and I just, there's nothing that is drawing my attention right now. Nothing is really it's got me looking into the future, seeing, ooh, can't wait. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's where I'm at right now, in my place in life where I'm just not seeing joy. Work is hard, man. Work has got me
Well, it
beat
gets
up.
harder. The larger your collection gets, it's harder to, find games that you see something new on or something you're interested in playing. It's just harder, the bigger collection grows. And you have a large collection, so you can be
Valid.
more particular, and that's
It's
to be
very
expected,
valid,
right?
because I've been gotten so many
Yeah.
times.
I wonder how much of it just comes from game overload. I mean, there's so much out there right now. I don't feel like I need to look so hard. There's gonna be things. I'm gonna hear about them. I'm sure there's
Cream will rise.
Yeah, there's gonna be some probably water. But I'm a big fan of the aquaticas and the ocean-based stuff, water-based stuff. So that's a theme that I really like, and so I'm sure there'll be something in that genre that comes out. I like pirate games. I'm sure there's a pirate game that'll come out that'll grab my attention at some point. I don't feel the need to search so much. There's just so much coming out. Stuff's going to be out there. So yeah, I don't find myself looking ahead too much. I'm just trying to live in the now and trying to play a fraction of all these games that are sitting on my shelf or that are coming out right now. So
I think now, so Michael, this would be a question for you almost. Is I've really shied away from Kickstarter the last 6 months or more, 6 to 9 months, and I'm not projecting to kickstart anything in the near future. And part of it is just I have 600, 700 board games in my house, and I don't really need much more. But also, it's like I'm tired of just waiting on these games for a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Are you starting to get to that point too, or are you still all in on this stuff?
I think the thing that kind of turned me off of kickstarting more than what I used to, or I'm sorry, kickstarting less than what I used to, was I'm trying to remember the name of the game, but there was that one game that was just like, it's not going to deliver, you know? And up until that point, they were so far and few between that was going on. And, you know, the pandemic played into it, and, you know, but when you have like these major companies, is it Mythic that has 6 Kickstarters they're still trying to
I think that's
fulfill?
Yeah.
Might be right. Yeah, sounds right.
It's just like it's kind of a turnoff. So even though I say I'm waiting on 30, I would say over half of these are just expansions to games that I already have, and are from companies that I know are going to deliver, like Garp Hill Games. The Circadians, expansion is getting ready to deliver soon. You know, it's stuff like that I'm more geared towards being willing to put money to, and also that I don't want to wait anymore. Like, why do I want to tie all my money up when every single time that a game delivers, you will always see people trying to unload them on Facebook? I've already got too many games. You know, this one's still in the box that it was delivered in. I'm trying to sell it, you know? So I've kind of definitely backed off. Endeavor Deep Sea, man, I was so tempted by that one.
I was just say, Rick, put that up there. We ran into somebody at Dice Tower. Wayne and I were playing First Light, Roy Kennedy's game, and somebody came by, and I won't go into the whole
She
story.
saw my copy of Endeavor.
Yeah, and so she pointed out that she had played the Deep Sea and that it was really good, and so that's one I.
What's your answer,
I look
Chris?
forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, what
are you looking forward to?
What are you looking forward to?
So for me, guys, I keep my collection to around a little over 100 games. So I don't keep a large collection. So I'm constantly culling games, selling them or giving them away. So because of that, I'm always on the lookout for different Kickstarter games. But I definitely cooled over the last 2 years, I'd say, where I'm only doing maybe 2 to 3 Kickstarters a year.
Oh, wow.
So I don't do a lot. I think maybe 4 last year. I have to double check with the game, board game table and everything else. So yeah, there's 2 that are on my radar. So I'm a backer of Stone Spine Architects.
Okay.
The latest one from Stan Kordonsky.
I have seen that
who
one.
did Lock Up, The Role Player Tale, and many other ones. That one's really cool. I like how quick the turns are, and I like the decision space. It's also easy to teach. It's got a cool theme. So I really like that. I think it's going to be a good game. And then the other one is Nova Roma.
Okay.
Which I also really think is just a great Euro. I like the point salad nature of it. Artwork's by D'Amico again. I love his artwork.
Yeah.
From the Raiders, the North Sea series.
Yep.
So those are the only 2 I backed this year. Nova Roma and Stone Spine, which is actually still, up right now. Stone Spine Architect.
Oh, nice.
I think Ant Lab did a play of Nova Roma recently, if I'm right.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that art's nice.
He's so good.
Carl's just pulled it up here on the side screen, but yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I like that all those games from that series. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually, I take that back. Stan Kordonsky did Nova Roma. The Stone Spine Architects is by either a new designer or he doesn't have a big pedigree.
Okay.
But it's by the same company that did Lock Up, A Role Player Tale, and Role Player, same company. But Stan Kordonsky did Nova Roma.
Nice.
It's like he designed that one.
Cool.
Yeah,
As always, great phone calls coming out of Texas, man.
Yeah, always good questions. Yeah, we appreciate you calling because it always makes us think a little bit. We never set scripts for the show. We just kind of always go off the cuff. But it's awesome when people call in and hit us with something we can think about and respond to.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I'll let y'all go and wrap up things for the evening, but I'll talk to you guys later and have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Awesome. You too,
Thanks
man.
for calling.
You too, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's it.
Chris from Austin, Texas,
I love
calling
Austin.
in to talk about board games,
Becoming a regular. That's good stuff.
board game tables.
Yeah. Tables are
A
good.
couple of good
Austin,
comments in
Texas
here.
Good
Go ahead.
town. I was gonna say
Yeah,
Austin. I
never
love
been.
Austin. I've been there a few times for conferences. Fantastic.
I want to
bar
go to
scene
see
and-
Coda. The racetrack they have there looks amazing.
Coda.
Coda?
I don't. You
Coda?
guys, you
Coda.
guys have seen the movie Dazed and Confused?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So it was filmed in and around Austin.
Stoner
So
movie.
there's the yeah, it's a great movie. But there's a barbecue place that was the Emporium from Dazed and Confused. It's called Style Switch Barbecue. I've been there a few times. Good stuff. So anyway, long story.
Endeavor Deep Sea. Like when I first heard it, I wanted it. I wanted to, but then this whole ethnos /
Archaeo Society.
thing happened, and it's
Yeah.
got me like worried about Deep Sea.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Like-
All of the stuff I've listened to, Carlos, people are either they love Arceus or they don't. It's very like
Dividing.
Black
yeah,
or white. Yeah.
yeah.
Off or on it.
Like all I wanted was like just redo the game, please.
Yeah.
And
just put a
okay,
new theme on it.
okay, maybe no, I didn't even want a new theme.
You didn't want a new theme? No.
on
Everybody hated the theme.
Endeavor.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought you were talking about Ethnos.
Oh no, Ethnos. I love the
Oh,
theme. I
oh,
hated
right.
the art.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm fine with Fantasyland.
Yeah.
You know, bands of orcs and hobbits.
Okay.
Just like why the art so bad?
Mm.
But they changed things about the game, right? They
Like the
changed it.
Libertalia. Like
Yeah.
it's like okay, you're gonna freshen it up. No, you're gonna change it so much that it's not the same. Which, by the way, that was a Stonemeyer provided copy.
Oh,
I
there
did
you
not
go.
buy it.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. And I'm saying I didn't like it.
Yeah, there you go.
There were things I enjoyed about it, but after I played the original Libertalia, like I felt like okay, it just didn't.
The new Libertalia game is better. The art is not.
Right.
The theme
Okay,
and the
agree.
art changed. Yeah, the game is better because of some of the changes they made.
Yeah, gosh, I said I agree with you, but I don't know. I liked the old version, and actually, after we played both of them side by side, I think I commented that I liked the old one slightly better. So I don't know. Yeah,
But I think it was for me it was the immersion into the theme that the old one did better than the new one.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
The new one I felt like I was playing a game. The old one I felt like,
Game was playing you?
piratey.
oh,
Like, hey, it's piratey. Look at me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda Neff says, our last anniversary, my husband turned our dining room table into a gaming table. I had no idea he had been working on it. It was an incredible reveal when he lifted the tabletop to show me.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
No pressure, Wayne.
My wife was going to do that actually for
No, you
my
should tell my wife to do it because
45th birthday. My wife said that she was trying to look into. She was online looking up. You can go online and get blueprints for how to make tables into gaming tables. I guess there's a bunch of them out there for the IKEA tables that you can do kind of cheap knockoff game tables. So she was looking into that, but it just ended up being too much work. So yeah, cool stuff.
No, so with the Endeavor thing, it was interesting. So I wonder how much different Endeavor Deep Sea is going to be from Endeavor Age of Sail.
It looks totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a completely
they
different game.
changed
That's
a bunch of rules.
That's what
right?
kind of
And
turned me off
like,
on it.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
So
not-
I was like, oh, I'm looking for just a different theme and maybe some tweaks, maybe some a little bit of streamlining or something. But it's
Third edition, please.
looks like it's a completely different game. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
but you
Also
like
the,
underwater stuff.
oh yeah, I love
You're
the
all-
water theme. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it has a chance, but I love Endeavor. It's one of my definitely in my top 20, close to my top 10 all time games. So
Where is
yeah,
it on your board?
Gosh.
Number 5.
Number 5. There you go.
Number
There you go.
five.
I didn't
There's
lie.
proof right
I
there.
didn't lie. Yeah. Number
it's
5 for the
proof,
year,
yeah.
but yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a great game. Yeah.
Yeah, even though he owns a substandard copy of it.
Rickwood
Oh,
says
don't
it-
start with that.
Oh wow! I knew that was gonna.
I'm not paying $50 for the wooden tokens. They tried to get me for that at Dice Tower. I thought about it for a half a second, but it's like Wayne just bought the upgraded full game with the tokens in it
With
for 50
expansions and mini
$50 with the
expansions.
expansions. I'm not paying $50, or it was I think 40 or 45 just for the tokens. Screw that.
Rickwood says it uses the same track and disc system. That's good news
Okay.
because that's probably one of the most painful pieces of the game for me
Oh
is placing the
Oh,
tokens
optimus
on the
setup?
on the government
Setting it all-
tracks.
Oh, okay. During the game. Yeah.
Trying to get the influence of the governor to
Yeah.
open up that zone.
Yep.
Like that is the most painful part of the game for me,
Mhm.
and which is why I like it so much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know I'm going to go there, but I bet you by the time it comes around to me, I won't get the governor. You know, I won't get that influence.
That little race to see who gets the last one in or
Yeah.
who gets the most.
Who's gonna open that door to allow someone else to get it?
Yep.
And then you're like, well, why is nobody ever opening the door for me?
You're negotiating with people. You're saying, if you all go over here and stop him, he's going to get that. But y'all need to do it, not me, because I got other crap that I'm trying to do.
Rickwood says, but yes, the theme-wise, it's much different. Okay, so
Yeah.
It's on my wish list, man. Like as soon
I wanna
as
try
it
it.
delivers and
wanna try
people
it.
start dumping it, I'm like probably going to be first in line to pick it up.
Yeah.
I thought I got a good deal because I picked up a copy of Endeavor
Got it right here.
for $10 at the Dice Tower Flea Market.
It was
And
Apparently, it's
was like
Endeavor, not
first
the Age of
edition.
Sail. It's the first edition.
just Endeavor.
It's first edition. It's the old Endeavor, so it's in a little box. It's got a little board. It's the same game, but it's the.
It doesn't have the cool. Was it trays? The game trays?
Yeah.
It doesn't have the game trays.
No,
it
it's
doesn't have the.
It doesn't have all the 10 modules that you plug in and all that kind of stuff. It's just the base game. So.
but it's
Oh,
ori-
is I mean
it's
is
the
it pretty
original
much the same
before it
game
went to
though?
Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's the same game.
Mostly,
It's
yeah.
like I say, it's a smaller board.
I think the
It's-
new game comes with the expansions. So when you buy Endeavor Age of Sail,
right
it adds expansions that were added to regular Endeavor.
Oh,
modules they
okay.
call them, but yeah,
Modules.
it's like 9 or 10 different modules. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Chad says, have you seen that they are sneaking in the new Terra Mystica?
Yes, Age of Innovation.
Interesting? Question mark?
Would not be your type of game, I don't think. But
Terra Mystica. Well, isn't Terra Mystica already getting like a light version?
it's a pretty. Oh yes, there is. Yeah, that's right. There was a light
Yeah.
version coming out. So it's a pretty heavy game. I've played it a handful of times, and it's a
See, the
lot.
Terra
It's
Mystica
pretty-
Light
pretty thinky.
has me interested.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
not
think,
sure about this innovation.
I think this one is based because they did Gaia Project as
Right.
like the second one from Terra Mystica, which is
Space
more
version.
sci-fi.
Gaia Project,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no, this one I was interested in this one too. I'm passing on the Kickstarter, but again, it's definitely on
Terra
my wish
Nova.
list.
Terra Nova.
Is
Yeah.
that the one? I'm trying to remember.
I saw Nova Roma was ringing a bell for me over
Yeah,
there.
Terra Nova
Yeah,
is
Terra
the
Nova.
lighter version of Terra Mystica,
Right.
so I want to try that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there are some games I do want to try.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think, like, I go back. I mentioned Clans of Caledonia earlier. I think it's very Terra Mystica like, but it's a better. The theme is awesome because your Scottish clans brewing whiskey and stuff. So
Oh, well, there you go.
I'd rather play that.
Yeah, I got to figure that game out. I'm in my third game now on BGA. I'm
Tough.
still not doing well with that, so we'll see how this one turns out. I know you're kicking my butt in this third game that we're playing, but yeah, I got to figure this out. So this is I've never played in person, so maybe it's one I got to play in person sometime. to
Yeah,
put
it really
together.
is because it's so tight economic. It's like brass. It's like you
Yeah.
really have to see it on the table and get it played. So
Yeah.
Aaron Clark, Ohio.
Yep.
Says, really like the games I've played from Stan Kordunsky.
Endless
yep.
Winter. Okay.
I did good there. Resurgence, Lockup, and Endless Winter are all really. Whoa.
Endless Winter was a fail for me. I know
It
we
was,
talked about it.
It was
before, but-
okay. It
was
was
okay.
That's in
great.
my
But it was a good
sell
game.
pile.
Yeah, it was okay.
Just too much going on. That too many
Yeah.
expansions, too many things going on. But it was a good
Lockup
game.
is one I want to play though, for sure.
Yeah, I want to try Lockup. I'm a big fan of Role Player, and I've only played Role Player with the expansions once, and I know it's better. I need to get those expansions. It's one of the things that's top of my list. But yeah, Lockup. I want to try Lockup sometime.
Yeah.
Nick Oben is chiming in on the conversation about Kickstarter, saying that the only Kickstarter that he's back this year is the Dice Tower fundraiser. He says, I just don't feel the need to jump in anymore.
It's helping pay for that van.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did
Yeah.
too. I did Dice Tower, Secret Cabal.
I wanted to get a mug. I should have got it.
I had my rocks glass earlier. Yeah.
I got the Dice Tower mug now.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to pick one
I
up
saw
at
that,
at the convention,
Oh yeah.
but I ended up with the acrylics
Okay.
for Quacks.
We all make choices.
Quack's the game that wouldn't even make his top 20.
Well,
And Hadara.
Hadara, man, that's good.
I'm playing right now on BGA. A game of Hadara.
Are you playing Hadara on
Yeah.
BGA now?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good.
It's
yeah.
good.
It's solid.
Oh, now you got. Oh,
I was going to say
Games,
Nick
folks.
Oben is probably overwhelmed with that Too Many Bones Unbreakable delivery
Oh,
Kickstarter
I still
that
got
he
to play
got
Too
in.
Many Bones. That's probably in my top 5 games that I need to play. I
You
really
need to
want to try
play
it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sworn I think is at the very top of my list right now, but Too Many Bones is in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
This Euro guy with his tracks and cubes is talking about some pretty
Yeah, pretty heavy
Well, I mean-
games there.
I was playing War Chest with those poker chips, and I was thinking about Too Many Bones.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I do want to try Too Many. I love the feel
like
of
some poker
maneuvering
chips,
with the
yeah.
poker chips.
Yeah. I have no
Yeah.
interest in Cloud Spire. That was another big one that was in that thing, that tower defense game they came out with. I don't know. That
Oh,
one just
yeah.
doesn't appeal to me. I hear there's tons of rules, and that was really complicated. But yeah,
How many bones are there, Nick?
too many.
Too
so many.
many.
Bones. So many bones. Yeah. He posted a picture in the Discord of all the stuff that came in, and yeah, it's a little ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little ridiculous.
And that
But I
isn't
kinda
even
feel-
everything.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I know Chris brought it up about kind of pulling away from the Kickstarters and buying. Like this, does that make us, like, Wayne, you're talking about not using Kickstarter anymore. Mike, you're slowing down. Does that take us out of the game? Like, we're not the cool kids anymore?
No, man.
No.
Dude,
Like,
times
we should
change.
shut down the show.
Well-
We're not even real gamers.
the
Yeah,
fact
probably.
that the two you, Rob and Carlos, between the two of you have done 6.
Ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys have never been real gamers, though.
No, yeah. Wait
Never been in the game.
What are we doing with the show? What the hell?
No, but I think
I
we
wonder that sometimes.
No, but-
Like,
No, but
if a week goes by, I haven't played a game, I'm like,
What right do I have to be doing a show this week?
like counting on y'all to bring in the goods.
we still follow it though, right? Just because we're not bagging them doesn't mean we're not in the pulse, right? It's just
We're real gamers. Yeah, we are.
in the life cycle of games. I think all of us have 300, 400, 500 games. So at some point you go, all right, am I going to be Jason Levine with like 6,000 games in my house, or am I
I ain't
just
got that kind of
am I
money or
done-
space.
yeah, exactly. Neither of those.
But I think
So-
all hobbies ebb and flow. Like,
Yeah.
how many of us have old golf clubs or even like disc golf or,
Yeah.
your,
Sold my
your
clubs a long time ago.
I got FPV drones. I got like hobbies ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, board gaming is just another hobby. This one has just seemed to have stuck around for me the most because I've been doing it since I was a kid. But I think it's okay for people to put it aside for a little bit. It doesn't take away your gamer card.
No.
It's some people
Oh,
put it
no.
aside when they have kids.
Lose your game of cred.
Right. You don't lose your
Yeah.
gamer cred.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't even know that was an issue.
No, it's not.
Nah, it's an internal battle I have. Like, what am I doing telling people about board games when, I'm playing code names this week? Like, that's what I got in. I got code names in.
How long
Yeah,
have you
but
been
I-
playing board games?
A long time.
How many years do you think?
Oh,
Like,
geez.
average?
Okay, so if I have to
30?
Modern
put
board
it
games
together, modern board games, I was in college. I was at USF.
Less than 30. 20, 25?
Yeah, 20 plus years.
There
I'm
you go, man. Dude, that's a
43
lot
now.
of history to stay with one hobby. You can talk about it, even if you don't.
I mean,
play
I tried
more than you
autocross for about a month.
I don't
That
know.
was pretty cool,
Yeah.
but very costly. Those tires are expensive. Holy crap.
Yeah, they are.
After I lost all my discs in the lakes,
Yeah.
I stopped doing disc golf because, having to replace those discs.
Just dug mine out. I got to go play sometime.
Man, so the Gamers Ranch apparently has an 18-hole or disc golf
Yeah,
course.
they have a disc golf course.
Jeez. More reasons to go to the gaming ranch.
I'm
Dude,
like,
when you
know,
guys are
I
ready,
think
man.
it's like a couple-hour drive from the
Jamie
airport.
talked
I know.
about it.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
couple
Jamie
people
talked about
poo-pooed
it.
Jamie
but
was
I
just
wanna do
there.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Can I sleep in the same room that Jamie slept in?
Yes.
Probably.
I guess.
You can have that room. Yeah, I smell the sheets.
I could be down for a long weekend there, like a 4 or 5 day weekend.
That got
I
weird.
would go.
Or was it Missouri?
Yeah,
It was
It's like
Missouri,
a-
so it's not too far from
you
him.
You fly into like the major airport in Missouri. I don't know, one of them,
Hey.
and then it's like a 2-hour drive
They have one
from the airport.
Yeah.
So you got to rent a car.
Daniel
rent-
from Indiana says hello right at the end of the show.
Yep.
Airbrushing, yes, that was a hobby of mine. I have all kinds of airbrushes and the machine. And do I know you? NSF3S. Do you like? Are you watching me? Because
Dan still
like
does that stuff. He can show you
William
how to
on
I
use
the
it.
could
cover? Is
not
that William on the
figure
cover?
out. I could not figure out how to clean the brush to be able to use it again.
It's just one use
It
brushes.
was like
This is an expensive hobby.
right at $100 an airbrush.
Oh, I called it. It's William.
Oh, was it William?
No, it
Oh,
is William.
There you go.
I'm wondering.
That's what yeah.
Chad Stinson, English not my first language,
Stilson?
says, "I'm still laughing about thinking that we were the cool kids."
At some point.
It's got to be Sean. That is
Oh,
Sean.
no,
I got it
Sean.
right. My
Oh,
man,
okay.
Sean
Sean.
McDaniel.
Said
Oh,
yes,
there you go.
there you go.
Oh yeah, he came over and he cleaned out my whole brush system. He showed me how to do it. Like he spent hours with me, and then I tried it. Like I got felt good again about like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this airbrushing thing. I'm gonna do it again. And then the moment he's gone and I try by myself, the whole thing clogs up and like paint's coming out like cottage cheese, like in chunks. You know, I'm like, never mind. I give up. I'm just gonna slap
Oh,
paint
Carlos.
with a brush.
Throw it away.
Thank you, Sean, for reminding me of my expensive hobbies that I've tried and failed.
How's that pizza oven going?
Hey, it was going great.
Yeah. I've seen pizzas pumping out lately. Yeah.
It was going great. Wifey got pregnant, right? So Melissa's pregnant, and she gets gestational diabetes whenever she has a baby.
She got pregnant. It was all by herself, or
Well, I really hope it has something to do with
yeah,
that.
okay. I hope so.
It's preferred.
Preferred. But she can't have all those carbs. So it's like right as I start like nailing how to make cool pizzas in the oven, she can't have carbs no
I'll
more.
make them for Thursday nights. I'm coming over. I'll eat some pizzas. we
You
eat
can
a
make the
pizza.
Hawaiian pizza. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Ham and
There
pineapple.
you
You
go.
and I all day, baby.
So that yes, I still have the oven. It's still a thing.
Oh, Mike missed
Mike-
it. That
Mike,
was a big
that-
thing at
that
Dice Tower, Hawaiian
was-
pizza. But go ahead.
that was the big thing at Dice Tower, Mike. We did
Oh,
the
yeah.
live show Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
Carlos ordered pizzas, for the whole crew, and anyone from the Beans and Dice crew can come over and eat pizzas. And he ordered a Hawaiian pizza,
Nice.
One
One.
Hawaiian pizza.
and that
Underestimating
became
the popularity. Yeah.
that. Yeah, well, so like a couple of folks were very anti Hawaiian
Dan.
pizza.
That's fine.
Dan, Nick, and
William.
Will.
More for those that do like it.
Exactly.
And they were just like, who likes that? So Carlos and I started taking polls of all the people that showed up, and it was like 80% of the folks were like, yeah, I like Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I was like, dang, I
it
didn't
was
get
at
enough.
least 60%. Yeah, it was more
Yeah, it
more
was-
than not. So
Add
it was
me
a
to
little
that
unusual.
list.
Because
It
in my
was-
polls,
it
yeah,
was
it's been
only
the other
about
way around.
it was
Yeah.
the three of them, and then Diego. Maybe it was only 4 or 5 people who were anti Hawaiian
Yeah.
pizza, and everyone else was for it. So it was a good 60-70%.
See, what's cool is
Wow.
like when Rob's around, I can order the Hawaiian pizza because I know it's not going to go to waste. He and I will share it. When Wayne's around, I can order my Philly cheesesteak pizza because Rob won't touch mushrooms or onions.
Yeah, no, that's
or the
gross.
Hawaiian.
Peppers.
I'm omni. I'll go for both.
So it's cool having friends that like my pizza styles too.
Nah.
There you go.
So yeah, okay, I'll get the oven back going again. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Thursday
That
nights.
was
Thursday nights, baby.
I burned the crap out of myself with that thing though.
Oh, that's all.
All right, folks. Well, that's us. We're a podcast about food and bad hobby decisions.
Yeah, airbrushing. And
Brushing and drones and
Mhm.
My hope is that now that I've taken some time with the help of my wife Melissa and Rob, before the show we got together and completed or started to set up the Castles of Burgundy. Kind of helped me over that anxiety of it. Means that by this time next week, I'll be able to tell you about my experience of playing the new deluxe version.
If
Was
it's-
it worth the $100?
If it's done by then, we'll see.
Oh, I'm still. Yeah, during the show, y'all saw me playing around with the tokens because I got to
Yeah.
figure this all out.
you need an extra player. I'm there.
There you go, man.
My
Yeah,
favorite.
but you're
game
gonna
of all
judge
time.
me because you got the acrylics. I know how this goes.
I'll bring my acrylics. And we can,
There we go. All right, folks. We are the Beans and Dice podcast. We do this every Thursday night. Please tell your friends about what we do. We talk to you about games, hobbies, life. I'm
Yeah.
Carlos,
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
and I'm Wayne.
and we're the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
How we
How
game.
we game.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast.
Bye, everybody.
Don't forget to like
Say bye,
and
Rob.
subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Catch y'all next week, everyone.